It's showtime. Hi, everybody. Welcome to tonight's session. Yes, welcome to tonight's session. And as usual, we'll be sharing the link. And after that, we will start. Yes, we are live. Welcome, everybody, to tonight's session. I've been told the first few minutes that I remain silent is awkward. Yes, that is awkward. But then I still need to, send the links to the various groups. So if everybody subscribes and then hits the bell, I won't need to send the links to the various groups because then you will all be notified. Or if we are all on time, we know 8 o'clock we'll start and we are all here at 8 o'clock, then there won't be any need for me to send out links. So let's all try and hit the bell so I won't have to be sending links anytime we are live. You get it? Okay, so I've sent it to the first group. Let me try send it to the second group. So you guys will have to forgive me for the first few, Okay, so let me see. Seboni is here. Sela says he's doing a shoot, so he'll be in, he will join us as we start. But Catalyst is on standby. Kingsley is on standby. Seboni is on standby. And yeah, everybody is here. So how are you all doing? How was your day? If you're in here, please just send an emoji or hey, Etibonka. Send an emoji or something so I know you're in here. If you're in here, just send an emoji or just wave, anything, any one of those. So I know you guys are vibrant in here. As we wait for our panelists to join. Elder Echampon, welcome. And as you come in, don't forget to drop your thumbs up. Let me change today's topic so you guys know what we are discussing today. The topic is pricing in photography. Okay, that's the topic for today, pricing in photography. So we are waiting for, Rec is here. Let me just post the last group, then I'll send the video link. So anybody who wants to join now and, contribute before the main panelists come. Hey, Vernon, what's up? Hey, Wheezy, what's up? Charlie Wisdom, it's been a while. Before do some collabo, Before Crush, then do some collabo. Ellie Plim, welcome. Vernon, how is Cape Town? Okay, enough of the link sending. I think we have enough people here. The rest can join, when they get notified. So let me send you guys. Hey, Abena, what's up? Let me send the invite link. So anybody who wants to join can just use it too. But be reminded, you will pick your mic and then your camera. So you can just tap on the link on your phone and it will connect so you join us live. So I won't be the only one showing here. So the link has been sent. If you want to join, just tap on. And Naresh, you're going to be the general professor. You will be, general professor. So the link has been sent. Yeah, Wisdom, let's hear from you also. I've sent the link. Just tap on it. I've sent it again. Tap on the link. It will just connect you here. Your camera and then mic will be added here. So, the young ones and even like me, I always learn. Every day I'm learning something new. So if you can join, just tap on the link and then join. Let's hear a few words from you before our main panelists join. Emilia, how are you doing? How has your day been? Okay, so today we'll be discussing pricing. A lot of people keep asking, how do I price my craft? Should I charge what everybody is charging? Should I just go maybe 10% below what my competitors are charging? Should I charge based on where the client is coming from? Should I charge based on the client status and all that? We are going to discuss all these things tonight, and I'm hoping that by the time we are done with this, you have a firm understanding, and then you'll be able to draw your rate card. Hey, Master, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Man, why extra? What's up? How is Italy? How is the pandemic now? Are you guys able to step out now? Okay, so we have Catalyst here. Catalyst, you're on. Kofi, hey, we have Kofi who bombards us with questions. Kofi, my man, how are you doing? Shafiq, what's up? Cassie, what's up? Henry, Mr. Henry, what's up? So yes, this is the video link. If you want, you see how we have 3 people on here now. If you want, hey, I totally forgot I have to grab my headset. I thought I was in single mode. Yo, Catalyst, what's up?
Charlie, cool. What's up?
Yeah, Charlie. Why your voice dey low like that? Chop. Or you're reserving your energy for all the talk you're coming to talk. Mr. Schultz, what's up? Hey, Charlie. This you buff power. Kofi, what's up? Hey, okay, Wisdom is here, Mr. Momento is here. Yo, Mr. Momento. See, your other account, how do you pronounce it?
Hey, Bama.
How do you pronounce the other account? Hey, okay, Wisdom is here, Mr. Momento is here. Yo, Mr. Momento. See, your other
guys.
how do you pronounce it?
Hey, Bama.
How do you okay, so we are getting feedback from someone. If you're using speakers, you have to use a headset or earpiece.
I think that's it.
Okay, so that's from Wisdom. So Wisdom, you will need to use headsets or your Bluetooth, something, anything aside your loudspeaker will do. Okay, so as we wait for Wisdom to connect, Wisdom and I were in the same house in Motown, and there was a time we were in the same dorm, and now we are both photographers. Can you imagine? Okay, so Wisdom, try and get a headset or something so that we just want to hear, some 5 minutes chit chat with you before we. Yes, so when Motowners meet, there's nothing like professionalism. We. Okay, so Wisdom will be back when it's fixed. Let me see. Seboni is here also. Seboni, welcome.
Thank you, my boss. Good evening.
Okay. All right. So we are doing mic test. Seboni, we can hear you. Catalyst, did we hear your voice? I think you were a bit down.
No, I'm all right. I'm fine. I'm here.
Okay. All right. We have Kofi here. Kofi is going to ask all the questions. We'll note them down. Stella says he's doing like a shoot. The shoot should have happened earlier, but then as usual, plans delayed, so it chopped into his time. So we will just wait a bit. Mr. Schultz, we were both in Cadbury House, the Chocolate Boys. So yes, Kofi, can we hear you? Is your mic on?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So let's have your questions.
I would want to start the conversation part, then we can have, because I have today. I'm in for Catalyst a lot, so I want to hear him before.
You want to hear Catalyst before you ask your questions?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. All right, Catalyst. I think a lot of people have prepared for you. So today, there's going to be more eyes on you. You thought you escaped the shock by, leaving Ghana, but I told you you can't run away from us. We will always have you with us. Okay, so let me add Wisdom again, and let's see. Wisdom, can we hear from you?
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Momento. Yes, I was asking your other account. How do you pronounce it? Is it? I won't even try pronouncing it now because I might get it wrong. I always imagine how it's pronounced.
Okay, but there seems to be some kind of feedback, so I keep hearing.
Yes, you know what? You have your YouTube open, right? So just mute the YouTube video. Just mute it.
Oh, so that's me.
Yes, so mute it at your end. So once you mute it, it should be okay.
Oh, sorry. See,
You're good now?
I'm not used to it.
Don't worry. It happened to
Okay.
me a couple of times before I got to realize it.
Yeah, my bad. I should know better.
All right. Yes. So as I was saying, your other account, how do you pronounce it?
Oh, leather.
Leather. Hey, leather. Now I always thought it was Liathel or some French.
No, it's leather.
Oh, okay.
It's
So
leather.
see why I said I knew I would get it wrong. So Charlie, tell how has photography been? You know.
Oh, you mean like recently?
Yeah, like since you've been in this whole, you know, until I think 2 years ago, I didn't know you were into photography.
Oh,
So it was
okay.
that day I met you, I think at Kokrobite or somewhere like one beach like that.
Okay. I'm trying to remember
Yeah.
exactly where.
Yeah, that was when I realized you were into
Right.
photography. Yes. So the recent things, how has it been with you?
Well, I mean, it's been a bit slow. I'm sure it's been like that for everybody. And I don't know if many people know, but I don't do photography full time. I have a full time job, so I shoot when I have the time, or, as when I can. So yeah, I mean, recent events have made things a bit slow, but yeah, we still get a couple of personal gigs here and there. Yeah, but it could have been much better, definitely. But
Okay.
as you know, we're all in the same suit now, so we're just hanging in there tight.
All right, that's cool. So today we are talking about pricing. So we'll be taking a couple of questions from the people in here, but then we have a couple of panelists who will be, we'll give them, each person has 15 minutes to make their points. Then after that, we'll have a question and answer. Then the next person comes in. We are supposed to have 4 people, but Selah excused himself earlier on that he's in the middle of a shoot. So once he's done, he will join us. So in the meantime, Wisdom, you're going to be replacing Selah until he comes. So you're stuck here.
That's a bit impromptu. I just joined it because I checked out.
Yes, so don't worry, you're a businessman. So your client calls you impromptu, you'll still be able to go shoot that thing.
Right. Well, I'll do my best.
Okay, that's awesome. So we'll start with Catalyst. Looks like everybody wants to hear from Catalyst. So Catalyst, you have, according to my timekeepers, you have 15 minutes each for this first round.
If you can permit me, you can start with somebody else.
I'm sorry, we cannot we cannot permit you. They want to hear from you. They have voted, and they said they want to hear from Catalyst. Okay, stop scratching your head. Don't worry, I'll take it away from you for now. Yes, this first time you won. Seboni, are you here?
I'm here. My internet is messing up a bit. But
we've never been able to see
fine.
your face, Seboni. We don't know what corner you're hiding in. People don't know what you look like, but we'll take it like that for now. Since you said you speak for the underground.
Sometimes.
Okay. So now we are talking to you as Seboni, not the speaker of the underground. Tell us, what as business people, there are some of us who we say we are professionals, pro photographers, but we still don't know anything about pricing. So tell us a bit about pricing. How do we go about, arriving at a price for a specific package?
Pricing to me is very subjective. You understand? If you really want to have a successful career as a professional photographer, I think you don't just go about picking up any figure or any amount and start charging people. You understand? Your price should reflect you, as in your value and your ability. So yeah, there are so many factors you are supposed to consider before arriving at a particular charge or a price tag. So some of the factors.
Okay, looks like we've lost Bonnie. He earlier on said his internet was misbehaving. So as we wait for Sir Bonnie, Wisdom, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. Joey Dutch. Joey, the link has been drawn. I was trying to get in touch with you, but I don't know where you put your phone. I couldn't. So Joey Dutch, the link has been posted. Please do well and join. Okay. Yes, Wisdom. We want to hear from you as a professional. You've been for how long have you been into photography as a business?
Well, let's see. As a business, how long? Maybe a little over 9 years.
9 years, and that's not long.
Yeah, I say it's not long because I don't want to compare myself to people who have been doing it full time. Because, like I said, I do it part time. So the number of amount of time that I've spent doing photography, I just don't feel it's the same amount of time that a full time photographer has spent. So, for me, 9 years hasn't been too long. It feels like yesterday when I started doing photography.
Okay, all right, that's fine. I have been in this for just 4 years now. So, Wisdom, let's hear from you. For
it's not been 4 years.
Oh, Catalyst, 2016 to 2020. It's 4 years. Okay, so Wisdom, from your perspective, we have many upcoming photographers here, and the same way we have some professionals who still don't know what to charge for what service. How much do I charge? What goes into, they still don't know how they arrive at charging, let's say, 200 cedis for a shoot. They just charge 200 because other people are charging 200.
Yeah.
So tell us, how can we, talk to us?
Okay. But before I begin, let me just say hi to Catalyst. I've been following your conversations, and man, your contributions are on point. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. So on the issue of pricing, I think pricing is something that photographers struggle with, especially when you're starting out. You always have a lot of questions. How much should I charge for this? How much should I charge for that? And even if you go online, you check out some of the online forums and like some of the blogs that we follow, you realize that it's one of the top questions people ask: how much you charge for a job. And then they always tell you the same thing, that it depends on a lot of things. It's very subjective. It depends on so many things. It depends on your cost of doing business. It depends on how you're going to position yourself.
Okay, Wisdom, let me interrupt you a bit. I think we are having a little problem hearing you. So if you can speak up a bit.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe
Sorry.
Increase the volume of your mic or something.
Okay, I just have to speak up. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now. Okay,
all right. So I was saying that when it comes to pricing, it's an issue that photographers struggle with from the very beginning. And if you check out some of our favorite online portals, blogs, forums, it's one of the key questions that people ask. And pricing for me is, or like how somebody said, it's very subjective. It depends on so many different things, and it could depend on your cost of doing business. It could depend on how you want to position yourself in the market. I mean, there are so many things that go into pricing. So if anybody asks me how much, how do I go over my pricing? Okay, I mean, I just thought that, look, at the end of the day, it all depends on my strategy, the kind of strategy that I want to use, to promote myself, or how I want to position myself in the market. So for instance, if maybe I'm an entry-level photographer, okay, perhaps I don't have many overheads, and I really want to break into the market. My pricing strategy will be different from somebody who's been in the game for a while. Somebody who has invested a lot in, let's say, their crafts. They have overhead expenses, they have assistants they have to pay, so many things. So maybe let's just say, for instance, a normal wedding shoot. I could be an entry-level person. Perhaps I didn't have to spend too much money to buy my equipment. Maybe a kind uncle somewhere gave me or bought me a camera, stuff like that. So I don't have overheads. I don't have cost. I don't pay rent. I mean, basically, I haven't spent so much money. I can afford to charge low only because maybe I just want to get a lot of clients for my portfolio. Then as time goes on, I increase my price slowly to match what I think I'm worth. But then also, in so doing, I think that it's important to also study, the market, because you don't want to price too low, because the amount of money that you charge also affects the way people see you. Sometimes it even affects the kind of client that you get. So, I mean, to answer the age-old question from the newbies, how much do you charge for your work? You need to consider a number of things. You need to consider so many factors. Okay, it's not just as simple as just deciding that, okay, because everybody's charging this amount of money, I'm also going to charge this amount of money. No, if you go that route, it may not necessarily work out too well for you. Yeah, but at the same time too, you also don't want to price yourself, too high, because if you do that, you eventually price yourself out of the market. So it's just about finding the right balance, and then based on the kind of strategy that you want to implement when you're going about your business, then you go about adjusting your price accordingly. Okay, but one last thing I want to add with regards to pricing, even before you start pricing your work and stuff, you need to also consider the value you're bringing to the market, or the value you're bringing to your clients, because it's your value which determines whether you are worth the amount you are charging. So if you are not really bringing anything significant to the table, you can't really, go high, if you understand what I mean. Yeah, so I mean, pretty much in a nutshell, those are my opinions on pricing. I'm pretty sure as we go along, I may drop,
Sure.
insights.
That was insightful. But then we have a question from Akosia. Let's answer that quickly before Catalyst comes on. She says, I know some photographers charge according to the camera they use. Is that right? I know the ending part of your submission spoke about that, but then I would want you to just tackle her question for her. Is it right for photographers to charge according to the gear they use for a particular job?
Is that question directed at me?
Yes, Wisdom.
Charging for the gear that you use. I don't know. I mean, I think it depends on the job that you're doing, and it will depend on if maybe you are being asked to use something specific. Yeah, maybe you're doing let's say a commercial job, and there's a particular requirement. Okay, and then you can decide to include that in your charge. I mean, like for me, it's a very weird like parameter for deciding your rates and the kind of camera that you use, because I don't think a cook will charge his rate based on the kind of stove he uses. He charges based on his skill and his ability to prepare a particular dish in a particular way. So for me to say that somebody charges based on the kind of camera that he uses, I mean, it's a bit strange. I mean, you could say that maybe you've upgraded your equipment. So because you've upgraded your equipment, your overheads are now high. So perhaps because of that, you need to increase your prices in order to make up for the costs. But to say that, okay, if I use this camera, I'll charge this amount. I use this camera, I'll charge this amount. I'm not sure if that's what Akosia was driving at, but I think that in itself is a bit strange. However, if the person upgraded their equipment and they want to increase their rates based on that, then well, that would make some sense.
Okay, I think with what Akosia is trying to say, I have an idea. Let's say I have a Pro gear. Let's say I have a Z6, and then I have a D3200. Now, if I'm using the Z6 for a job, it means I'm using it for maybe a job that's paying 10K and above. But if it's, let's say, a birthday shoot or something, then I'm going to use a low-end gear just because the gig is not paying that much. That's the angle she's coming from. Okay, so
Okay.
Wisdom. Most people are still complaining they can't hear you. But from my end, I can hear him okay. I don't know, but guys, I think you may have to increase the volume on your sets, whether you're using your laptop or your phone. You may have to increase the volume a bit because I'm using the headset and I can hear him. Just that you have to increase the volume to be able to hear him loudly. I'm using a Pro mic here, so I'm using a booster to boost my voice. So even though I'm not speaking out loud, you can hear me, but not everybody has that same kind of setup. So just bear with us. You can increase the volume of your set, your phone or something, whatever you're using to listen to, just increase the volume and you'll be able to hear him well. So Wisdom, yeah, let's go on.
Okay, I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not using an external mic, so maybe that's why you cannot hear me so well. I didn't exactly come prepared for this session.
Yes, we appreciate that.
Hello, and Alabi just, he just wrote me in. Anyway, so to answer Akosia's question, I think that's, I mean, for a photographer to say that their prices are based on their equipment, then it's tantamount to saying that the quality of their work is based on their equipment. And this shouldn't be the case. I mean, a pro photographer should be able to deliver, like quality work regardless of what equipment they're using. So if he's saying that if he uses a low-end camera, he will deliver low-end work. I just think that that pricing strategy is wrong. It's not right. That's not the right way to price your work. You shouldn't price your work based on your equipment, because you're not being hired to deliver low-end work. You are being hired because the person saw something they liked in your work and they liked the output that you gave. So they are expecting that same output regardless of the equipment you're using. But if you say that you are going to charge based on the equipment you're using, then it means that you are just saying that, okay, I deliver bad work for a price, or I deliver good work for a price. And that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I've always had a problem with that. I know people who say if the gig is not paying well, I go with low-end gear. And I'm like, me as a person, if I have a pro gear and I have maybe a low-end one, I would always use the pro gear for the job because there's a reason why it's pro. It gives me some flexibility, and all that. So, Akosia, that's the answer to your question. There are more questions, but then let's hear from Catalyst first, because it's likely Catalyst will even address those questions before we even get to answer them. So, Catalyst, your time has come. Timekeepers, please give Catalyst time. He's very
Oh,
notorious when it comes to timing. So Seun and Cassie, please start Catalyst timer.
but how do you destroy someone's image before you give the person a platform? My goodness, I don't understand this. But well, let's go on. Uh, what I will start with is not directly straight to the pricing. I will start directly from what everyone knows. And I say everyone knows because we are all market people. We go to shops, we go to the market. When you are going to buy Coca Cola, when you buy just a bottle, you get it for one CD or two CDs. When you go to the wholesale and you buy a crate, it's a different price for each bottle in the crate. That's it. It's a simple thing. Let me see if I can share a particular thing on my screen just to buttress this whole point, and then an application window. Sorry, I'm new to this, so if I'm creating more harm than good, we are all learning today. We will learn.
Hello, Catalyst.
Yeah,
Okay, welcome back.
okay. Can we see what I'm sharing?
Hold on. Let me. I have to add it. Okay, I've added it, so your screen is on now. Let me take off this one. Okay, guys, can you see what Catalyst is sharing? If you can see, just say yes or drop an emoji so we can move on.
Yeah. I can see it, but I don't know about
I
the
can
other.
also see it from here. So let's wait for 2 or 3 people to confirm. Guys, if you can see the screen Catalyst is sharing, let's hear from you so we can continue. Okay, all right. So they can. So
Okay.
Catalyst, please carry on.
Great. So everything I'm going to say about pricing depends on this particular screen we see here. Just like every product that we have in the market, before they arrive at the final sale price, they look at the cost of the materials, the cost of labor, and overheads to get the total cost. Then they'll add their desired profit and then get the final sale price. It's as simple as that. Now, how do you end up with this? Someone will ask that, but photography, yeah, Charlie, everything you have to come, and then everyone you have to give them one price. So how do you come up with your final price? This is the way people do it. And I'm saying it from the business side. I'm putting photography aside just for a little bit. So how it started is everyone has an idea of how much revenue they are looking at. So if I am going into the sale of share butter, I know how much profit I want. Maybe I'm looking at a 20% profit margin. Profit margin is just the difference between your costs and how much you sell the product. That's your profit margin. So, in actual words, what goes into your pocket in a layman's term. So, if I look at that, I have my cost. How do I get my cost? Every single thing, every single ingredient that goes into it, going to buy the material. Sorry, I can hear some feedback.
Sir Bonnie. Okay, so to those connected, if you are not on the floor, please mute your mic. Thank you. Catalyst, please go on.
If they don't mute it, let's take them out.
Yeah, I've taken notes, so don't worry. Carry on.
So I add every ingredient. What am I going to use to mix the shea butter? What's the price of that? If that's 2,000 cedis, it's well noted. How much is the shea butter I'm going to buy? Maybe 2 kilos is 500 cedis. I note it down. Am I going to get an assistant to help me? How much are they going to charge? I note everything down. The electricity I'm going to use, the place where I'm going to use as my small factory or mini factory to produce. I note all of that down. I add it together. This is my total cost of say 10,000 cedis for producing the shea butter. Now, how much profit do I want? Maybe I want a profit of 2,000 cedis. So I need to make sure that I'm selling this shea butter with an expenses worth 10,000 to get 2,000 in my pocket. So I need to sell altogether 12,000 cedis. Once I have that figure, then I have to now look at the shea butter I have. How many bottles is it going to give me? Maybe there are 12,000 cedis I want to sell it. I'm looking at 100 bottles. If I'm looking at 100 bottles, then I know how much I'm going to charge for each bottle. Now, it's the same way in photography. In order to find your hourly rate, the important thing is first knowing your hourly rate because that's your creative fee. If you don't know your creative fee, then you are starting on the wrong foot. Your hourly rate. So now you're looking at cost of materials. Let me pick it one by one. Cost of materials. I'm looking at my gear. How much does it cost? That's when people say gear is not necessary. Gear is not necessary for pricing your client, but it's necessary for you as a business because you used money to buy the gear. What you've actually done is that the money you used to buy the gear is a personal loan you've given to your business. You need to get that money back. It means the business owes you. So if you decide that you are going to use, say, a 5D Mark IV as your starting point, how long are you going to give your business to pay you back that money? It should be in your mind. So you look at your gear, every single thing you bought to start the business. You look at if it's a printer you're buying, if it's a laptop you're buying, all of those necessary things. You add all of it, those become your cost of material. Now you go to your cost of labor. As interesting as it is, you need to find out how much you are worth per hour, right?
Of course. Yes, yes.
Now, necessarily, what most people do, and I've spoken to a couple of photographers, not necessarily from Ghana, but other parts of the world.
Mhm.
What they do is if they are looking at getting an annual revenue of, say, $100,000 as their annual revenue, when they pick the gears that they've bought for that year, because believe you me, sometimes you're lucky you can use one camera for 2 years, but you know how our industry goes. Every year there is a new NAB show releasing a new gear, which you might feel that it's going to help you in one way or the other. So your
Mhm.
flashes could be lasting for a year, your cameras could be lasting for maybe 2 years. You factor all of that and say, based on my cost of materials, out of that $100,000, about $20,000 will go into gears for that year. So I have 80,000 left. That 80,000 that I have left, if I was to be working in the corporate industry, I'll be working 8 hours a day, which means I'll be working roughly 40 hours in a week. If you are working 40 hours in a week, 40 times 52 weeks, fine, give yourself 2 weeks vacation. So you have 50 weeks, and then you have 40 hours per week. 50 times 40, that should give you 2,000. My math is not the best, so in case I'm wrong, someone should let me know.
Don't worry.
That will give you 2,000 hours in a year. Pick your 80,000, divide it by 2,000 hours. Now you have $40 per hour. Bingo. That is your cost of labor. That's your cost to shoot. Now you look at other overheads. Let's go to overheads. Overheads, you are looking at things like electricity. You are looking at things like internet. You are looking at very, very basic things which are not necessarily related to your photography. But then there are things that you use. Like you charge your batteries at home. That's your prepaid right there. You can't say it's a personal expense. If you were not doing photography, you won't go and charge any battery, or you won't go and charge any light. You have transportations to and fro, going here and there. Make an estimate. Afterwards, you've made an estimate, you've estimated your total cost. Someone is saying that Pixie set subscription, all of that, they are
Yes,
all yes, your
that's true.
website, storage, like a whole lot. Put it all in as if to you, they every week you are shooting. Now, once you have that, you ask yourself, what's my desired profit? How much? Like how much do I want? Maybe I want 15%, maybe I want 20% profit. Then you add that and find your final revenue for the year. This is my target. I'm targeting 200,000 CDs for the year. If I'm targeting 200,000 CDs for the year, that's 12 months. If it's 12 months, then 200,000, or let me make it 240,000 divided by 12, which is going to give you what? I had Yamami.
Okay, hold on. Let me turn on my calculator so I can be helping you with the calculation. So
Then
you said 12,000. Oh,
40,000 divided by 12.
hold on.
That's going to be a 20,000. So
Okay.
every month you're targeting to get 20,000 CDs, which means every week you're targeting what? 5,000 CDs. Now, how do you go about your marketing in order to get that? That's when it comes in. When it comes to pricing, what you are looking at is you have your basics. So let's say, for instance, because you already have your cost of labor, you have your cost of materials for the year. Because you have your cost of labor, you can now go in and say, each hour, my rate is $40. Or let me say in Ghana terms, each hour, my rate is 300 cities or 500 cities. You need me for a 2 hour shoot. And this, I'm starting from the studio side because when it comes to pricing, everyone prices differently based on the genre of photography they do. So if you are into studio, each hour is 200 or is 300. So if someone books you for a 2 hour shoot, you have what? 600 cities. Now, when you retouch each image, you are charging 100 cities. You put it there. So those are things that you put there because you know at the end of the day, it's going to lead you to getting your final revenue for the year. So this one is just to touch up so that everyone sees what goes into first determining your forecast for the year. It's only your forecast for the year that will guide you so that each month you'll be able to know, was I able to hit my 20,000 series target? If you weren't, maybe you would have to change your estimate a little bit. You have to adjust something a little bit, or you have to increase your marketing, all of those things. So I just wanted to come from these basics so that you understand exactly what goes into pricing. Before once we get in better, then we know how to price each element. So maybe if you give me another time, I will come on board
Don't worry.
again to
We have you here, you decided to run away from us physically, but thank God for technology. We still have
no,
you.
I don't mean another time. I mean today.
Oh,
I'll
don't
come
worry,
and then
don't
talk
worry.
about
We
each
we have
genre.
2 hours, so don't worry.
If it's wedding, the things that go into wedding. If it's studio shoot, what goes into it. If it's commercial shoot, what goes into it. So that we
Don't
will know
worry.
and understand how to price individual kinds of shoot, photo shoot sessions and all of that. Those who are into retouching can handle those retouching issues.
Don't worry, we'll give you more time. So my timekeepers, please just alert me when he's getting close to his time. So Catalyst,
I
please
am
carry on.
done. I am done for now. If
You're
people
done
have
for this
questions,
first
they can
one.
ask.
Okay. All right. So
Yes, you can
somebody
ask
was
questions.
asking, Vinny was asking, is food included in the overhead?
Uh, Here is my answer. Yes, but then is food included in the invoice? It depends.
Okay, so Vinny, you have your answer. So Shafiq, Muse added that when calculating your overhead and stuff, don't forget your subscriptions, your softwares, the apps, the internet, and all those things that you use. Storage. Some of you don't even consider your external hard drive as part of the costs you should charge your clients. The files that you keep on the external hard drives, anytime your clients come, can I have the files for the shoot we did last year? For you to access that hard drive and pick, there is wear and tear. Your hard drive could crash anytime, so you should charge for all that. Catalyst, am I right?
That's right. And just to add, someone is asking why food is part of it. Now, let me explain something. When I used to be in the corporate world, there were times where I would travel. When I travel in Ghana, if I was at home, I'll probably be eating gari and sugar as my dinner. Now, when I travel, one, the accommodation where I sleep is nowhere near my rent, which means that I might have to be paying somewhere around $300 a night or somewhere around $500 a night, including food and all of that. Now, what happens is when we come back, when we are billing the client, we bill the client with disbursement or reimbursement. That's reimburse us for the things that are not related to the job we went to do, but they are costs we incurred on your behalf for doing the job. If a client comes for you and tells you that, Ghananie, I want you to go to Tamale to go do a project for me, are you saying that you will not send a pro forma which includes where you sleep, what you eat, how you get to Tamale? They are all going to be there, but they are not going to
Sure.
be part of the service. So I say yes and no. Because if someone is coming to your studio for a 2 hour shoot, you can't charge the person for food. You can't charge the person for food.
I mean,
So it's
no
a
matter
no.
how much you
So
eat,
depending
2 hours won't. For 2 hours, you don't need
exactly.
food.
So depending on the circumstance, you can charge or you might not be able to charge. So I hope peace that answers your question.
Yes, so Muse is making a lot of contribution in the chat. Muse, if possible, if it's possible, I've dropped the video link. So if it's possible, just tap on it and then we'll give you 5 minutes to come in and then make your submissions. Joey is here. Joey, you objected to the fact that I had to mute your mic, so you can unmute it. And please, Joey, when you are not on the floor, kindly mute your mic. You objected to the fact that food should be part of the overhead. Can you please explain? You have 2 minutes.
Oh, no. Actually, he has explained it, so there's no need to
So
talk
you're
about
okay.
that. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with that one.
Okay, all right. So now, Joey, your main contribution, you know what we are talking about, pricing. How do you arrive at your price? Why do you charge? Why do you come by the fact that okay, every hour I'm charging 400 cedis for this particular type of shoots? You get it? So enlighten us.
I mean, Catalyst has said everything, right? From no, honestly, it would have been the same thing I would have said. I won't lie to you, but without the whole presentation thing, it would have been the same thing that I said. But in there, I saw somebody asked the IKEA lady asking about people charging based on camera gear and all that.
Yes, that's
right?
Akosia.
Yeah, okay, Akosia. So, someone also said in there about something about charging based on the kind of work you are presented with. So if you have, let's say, a billboard job, personally, I used to shoot a lot of jobs with my 6D because that was the only thing I had, right? And I got somewhere around last year, I got some cool chop billboard jobs that I had to shoot. With me, I'm always looking at, I'm more of a detailed person than just the general overview. So if I should get something like a billboard job, I'm not going to use a lesser camera that wouldn't give much of pixelated pictures. right? I have to use a very big megapixel camera where when it's like spread out, the images still look very good.
Yeah.
With that, I would have to go in for a hired gear. If it is a 5D SR, I'm going to hire a 5D SR. If it is a 5D Mark IV, I'm going to hire a 5D Mark IV. If it is a phase one, I have to go and hire. I'm going to hire a phase one. In the sense that I will charge you based on the camera I am going to hire. I'm sorry, I'm going to rent. To rent. Based on the camera I'm going to rent. So I won't charge you with the camera I have because that's not what I'm going to use. If I'm going to use a phase one, a Mark IV, a Nikon D810, a 5D SR, a Hasselblad, I'll charge you according to the gear I am going to rent for that particular job. I can choose to do a shady job by using a 6D and we will go away. But after all, people will say, oh, I shot this. And the client will have to be satisfied. And the client also has to be satisfied with all that. You get it? So that is that for that one. And pricing in photography, I believe it comes with the experience. If someone is saying he has been in photography for 10 years and he's supposed to be charging 1,000 Ghana cedis, what happens to the very talented person who comes in and let's say in a month's time he's making waves? You get it? I think you charge your worth. You price according to what you think you are worth. If you are worth 1,000 Ghana cedis, charge 1,000 Ghana cedis. If you are worth 2,000, charge 2,000. In the sense that you are charging for how should I put this? There's a word I'm not finding, but yeah. I don't want to say charge for your gear, but charge for the gear. You pretend as if you went to rent the gear. Charge for that. Charge for the studio you are going to shoot in. Charge for you, the time you are going to spend to use, if it is a 1 year experience to shoot that 1 hour thing you're going to shoot, or a 5 years experience. You're going to actually bring all the 5-year experience under 1 hour, under 30 minutes, under 45 minutes, under whatever time you've given your client to shoot. You are bringing all that experience that day. That time you've wasted behind YouTube, that time you've wasted behind all the tutorials you've watched from people to watch, that time you've wasted behind the books you've read. So charge your worth for the knowledge you think you have, the studio, pretend you are renting the camera, and then other things like if you're moving from your comfort zone to wherever the client is, the transportation, but please don't add food. That is why I think the problem is people add food and it sounds weird. Like you're just going to shoot pictures. Your client is not supposed to feed you. It comes as a bonus. If you go to his or her house and he or she goes like, oh, I see you're hungry, let me give you food. That's a plus. But don't put in your invoice that food, transportation. Transportation is understandable, but food, no, fam. Nobody is ready for them to feed you. That doesn't make sense. But the only time I think food counts is when you are traveling like a longer distance. Where that one, you know your client is supposed to feed you because you're going away from the region you find yourself in. You can be in Accra and travel to Kaswa. You're not expected to charge your clients for food. If you're moving from Accra to, let's say, another region where you know you're not comfortable with that region, that is where I think food, transport, and all the housing necessities come in. So yeah, that's it about pricing photography from my end.
Okay, all right. So before Catalyst continues, I have a submission. Let's say, for instance, myself, I have a little space I use as my studio. So for me, somebody will look at my pricing and then goes like, okay, Ghananie is charging 400 per hour for a fashion shoot. So I want to, eyeball him and let me charge 350. And then you, that same person, end up coming to rent my studio for that shoot. You get it? So
yeah, I get it.
I, the studio owner, I have my price. You should also think about, you are coming to rent my studio. So your price should even be higher than mine. Am I right?
Exactly.
Because you are coming to rent my studio. You and depending on how wicked I am, I might rent my gear also to you. You see, so you need to put all that into consideration. I have people coming to my studio like, oh, I charge the client, something low, so please see inside for me. Mostly because boys, I'll see inside. But business-wise, you should charge according to what you're going to deliver. If your client says they want a studio something and you don't have access to a studio, charge studio time. Let the clients know that I'm renting. There's nothing wrong with telling your clients you don't have a studio. There is absolutely nothing wrong. Commercial shoots, even if the guy has a studio, he will put studio rental there. Yes, it's there. Gear. He will tell you, I don't have this lens. Even if he has it, he will tell you he's going to rent it. Okay, Shafiq is here. So the only Obroni in Ghana photography, aside him and Barak. Barak was my mate also in Motown. So let me add Shafiq. So Shafiq.
Hello guys, can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Welcome to
okay, fantastic.
Yes, so you've been inputting a lot of useful stuff backstage. So I just want to bring you on here. 5 minutes. Tell us everything we need to know about pricing in photography.
Okay, so I would like to say a big thank you to Catalyst and Jory for their fantastic contributions. And there are just a few stuff that I would like to add on. So I'm more of like a portrait photographer, or more of like a studio, or more of like a commercial person. And I feel sometimes, just like everyone, or just like every client, some people are misinformed or don't know a lot of things and need to be educated. So then there's no information failure, right? So in my line of work, quite a number of people will hit you up and be like, oh, I want to do this shoot, that shoot, this, that. And one thing you shouldn't do is to be too quick to jump in, or to be too quick to give like a price or quote. Because for instance, someone can hit you up and go like, oh, I want you to shoot maybe this beauty portrait or makeup photo of me in a studio. I just want headshots, nothing fancy. But you never know where that picture would end up. A very good example is of my grandmother. She died like long ago, and then Key Soap just used her photo for a billboard like a few years back, right? So that's like my mom's mom. Yeah. So in that case, then law stuff and court stuff came into the whole thing. So now one thing, or how I usually decide on a price, or how I usually price, is I ask myself a couple of questions, right? And then this includes stuff like where the images will be used. So for instance, is it only social media, or are you going to put it in print, meaning brochures, flyers, billboards, etc.? So that's one way. That's one thing or one component that's in my invoice when I give you a quotation. Another thing I also ask is if you want the images retouched, because maybe not everyone wants their pictures retouched. And sometimes, for instance, someone like Joey Dutch, I believe he charges, or someone in our line of work, I believe we charge based on the number of pictures that you want retouched. So for instance, if it's 100 CDs you want for a picture, you charge 100 CDs. If it's 200 CDs, you charge 200 CDs. Another thing you should also consider is equipment and logistics, which includes like transportation and all of that. So I'll give you how my invoices are broken down into. So I have my creative production fee, which is usually in two ways. So there's the half day rate or full day rate. So then you have that figure there. Maybe it's, so that's what Catalyst was saying. So how much you want, maybe as an individual, how much you want to pay yourself for that day or half day. And I also have equipment and logistics. So for instance, you can charge for equipment. It's just another way to make money or to break down the invoice or payment. Because what people often do is they say, okay, I'm charging 5,000 CDs or 2,000 CDs or 500 CDs. But what the client doesn't know is you are going to use an equipment to make the picture. Some people just be like, oh, it's just a picture.
That's
You get what
common.
I'm saying? Yes. So you really need to enlighten the client on what they are receiving on their end. So then I have creative production fee, which is the half day or full day. I have equipment and logistics. I have my, if it's high-end retouching you want, or just basic retouching or color grading. And then I have like, so you ask your client, do they want full rights or rights of usage to the image and where the images will be used and all of that. And then you charge. So that is very subjective. So for instance, do you want your picture to be on a billboard for maybe 100 CDs, or do you want your picture to be on a billboard for 20,000 CDs and so on? So it's very subjective in its sense. Basically, that's my contribution for today.
Okay. All right. So, Muse, one more thing. Now, with what you've said, I think it's quite broad. But let's narrow it a bit. Most people here, I'm just assuming, do, let's say, these are normal photo shoots like pre-birthday, maybe for models, for agencies, their portfolio and stuff. So with let's say a model hits you up, or Muse, let's have a collabo shoot or something. Or no, collabo, that means no money. A model comes and says, Muse, I'm building my portfolio, so I want to have a shoot with you. Now, how are you going to charge such a person? Are you going to add licensing fees and all that you mentioned about? If I understand that one is for maybe corporate or something more like a fashion something, a billboard thing. So if it's just maybe a birthday, pre-birthday something, are you still going to charge all these other fees?
Okay, so initially when I started the conversation, I outlined what I am as a photographer. So it all boils down to who you want to be as a photographer, or to which kind of clients you want to attract. In a case where you want to be known for pre-birthday photos or maybe shooting model Polaroids or something, I believe there's nothing wrong with doing that. But then you can still factor in some of these things. For instance, you can factor in retouching or charging for retouching, as well as maybe your creative production fee, which is how much you want as a photographer. Maybe in this case, you would just have to give either the model or whoever you're shooting for, or the birthday celebrant, maybe a complete or whole figure. Usually in Ghana, we need to know where we stand. For instance, I can charge 500 CDs, or I can charge maybe 15,000 CDs. You should know that those people that are targeting for 500 CDs usually don't go as planned. Maybe they want to pay 200 or 150. So if that's the kind of clients that you want to attract, you go for that. Or you can go for the higher brackets, which is maybe from 5,000 to 100,000 CDs, depending on your personal preference.
Okay, all right. So, Muse, your last question before you go. So, Kofi wants to know, what do you consider when charging for a photo edit, both normal edit and retouch?
Okay, so I might not be the right person to do that, but for something that I would maybe do frequency separation on dodge and burn, and that in addition to my normal fee, which I would charge 100 CDs per edit, which I don't know if it's right or wrong, but then typically that's what I do. And then if maybe I'm just doing like Lightroom work or color grading, split toning or something, I would charge maybe 50 CDs, which I think is fair, because then you need to consider your your time and then also your expertise or your knowledge or skills that you have at hand. For instance, if I'm hiring someone like Joey,
Joey,
if I am
it's not your turn.
hiring
Use the
some,
mic.
if I'm hiring someone like Joey Dutch, I know I'm going to pay a fortune for retouching because he's very well invested into his craft, and he's trained and taught a lot, so he knows what he's on about. Yes.
Okay, so just my little that I want to add, because if you're charging for retouch, you should also think about your Adobe subscription and your Capture One subscription. Also, all those things will come into play whilst you're charging.
That's 100%.
Okay, so Catalyst, people are waiting for you. I know once you come on now, you're not going to end now. That's why I'm trying to deal with the small questions before we come back to you with your presentation. So this particular question, let me address it to Joey. Seboni, give me 1 minute. I'll bring you on, but then let Joey answer this particular question. Joey, Kofi's question: what do you consider when charging for a photo edit, both normal edits and then high-end retouch?
For high-end, there are a lot. I look at the makeup work I'm going to do. Normally, with the normal edits, by normal edits, what does it mean?
Like Lightroom edits.
Lightroom edits, I don't really charge for Lightroom edits because it comes with the bulk charge I charge for the shooting. Yeah, so for Lightroom edits, because I would definitely not shoot something that I'll have to come and do a lot in Lightroom. So I'll just shoot it right, just come and boost up colors and send it to you in Lightroom, because obviously you would want to select the pictures for me to retouch.
Okay.
Right, so but with the retouching, I'm looking at the makeup you came with, the kind of hair issues I have to fix. And in as much as I'm going to kind of change your personality, I am not going to change anything that's already there. So the ability to do nothing, but you've done something is quite tedious, right? So that is basically it. I don't really mind the time I use in editing. So it's more of the makeup, the hair I'm going to tackle, and the little issues you, the client, will have. Because after, I normally like doing a first retouch, send it to the clients for further reviews. Like, so I have a base rate. If it's 100 cedis for one picture, I send you the first picture. You give me your reviews. After giving me your reviews, if I realize it's going to be a huge work, then I increase the charge from the 100 cedis to a further charge that I know will benefit me. Then I'll go back to editing the rest of the pictures you have selected. If you're not interested in the extra charge, then I'll just stick with what I know I can do for the 100 cedis and send it to you. So yeah, for the normal edits, like I said, it comes with my bulk charge for shooting. So if the shooting is taking like 80%, the normal Lightroom edit is taking like 50% of my charge.
Okay, all right. So the thing is, who is that, Joey? Please mute your mic. There are plenty of questions coming in. You know, I'm monitoring both the backstage and then in here. So I think Muse noticed a particular question that was directed at him. So he will just use 1 minute to address that before we bring Catalyst on.
Okay, so I realized Peace asked, can you please elaborate more on the rights of usage? So essentially, I'm not the best person to ask, but then I know a few basic things. So for instance, what you would want to consider is how long the person is going to use the image for. Are they going to be able to use it forever, or are they going to be able to use it for maybe say 3 months or a year? Over time, I've realized that it's more safe to give usage for about 3 to 5 months, because no company would want to use the same image over and over again for like a year or forever, because then new content must be made for their purpose of advertisement. Another thing about rights is when someone says like full rights of usage, you are considering how the image is going to be used For instance, is it going to be used on social media, billboard, frames? It also means that if you say something like full rights of usage, you are giving the clients the permission to do whatever they want to do with the image. Basically, that's what I understand from rights of usage. But I know someone like I think Elom Ayei Pro. Is it Elom or the other one? I think there are two female photographers in Ghana.
There is Elom and then there is Bazaar.
Yes, Bazaar would be the right person to contact for rights of usage stuff or usage
and
of images.
we have our man here with the headset all the way in California, who is, I'm sure he's going to answer all these questions. See, so guys, sometimes I just skip your questions because I know once Catalyst comes on, the second coming of Catalyst, he's going to answer he has all these questions covered. So Seboni has been biting me backstage. He says he has one question for Catalyst. So Seboni, you have 1 minute. Please ask your question.
No, my question is actually to Joey.
Okay.
It was in relation with the food stuff. I was thinking you charging for food shouldn't be related to distance, like moving from one region to another region. You could do a production in the same region, maybe you are spending more than 4 hours. You can't even move. How about that? Is your client supposed to still move?
Joey, please mute. It's not yet your turn.
Joey,
Okay.
do you get my question? Yeah, so how about that? It has nothing to do with moving from one region to another region. Basically, you are in the same region, just that you are working more than a normal time. And averagely, I think ideally, within 4 hours, every normal human being should feel hungry. And here is the case, you're having a production for like 4 hours. And you can't even go like offset. So with that one, how do you go about that?
Yes, Joey, please come on now.
Normally people will be hungry after 4 hours. All right. So I get your question correctly, right? But here's the thing: if you're saying for production, I don't know the kind of production you're talking about. I don't know if you're talking about a normal commercial job production or an in-house production, or let me say wedding production. So here's the thing.
Production is production. I go here. You're having a section.
A session. What kind of session, please? Is it a commercial job?
Shooting. You're just shooting.
Okay,
No.
we
can't just say shooting.
Okay, hold on, Joey and Seboni. So this is a much more simpler one. Let's say I'm shooting an agency, 6 models in my studio, or I've rented Stella's studio to shoot for an agency. Now, the agency wants me there. Let's say we plan that the shoot is going to take 6 hours, right? From, let's say, 7 a.m. to, Seboni, please mute your mic. From 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. You get it? Now, I leave my house, let's say 6 a.m. because I need to get to the place on time. I have not eaten and all that. And once I get there, I'm supposed to be in there, with them, creating the concepts and all that. So I have no chance to go out. Now, what Seboni is asking, that is the production. All those 6 hours, I'm supposed to be there shooting. You get it? So now it's just okay for me to let the clients know that because of so and so restrictions, I won't be able to go get my own food for myself and my crew. So with that, you have to provide food. Or let's say we have a 30-minute break where I can go get food for myself and my crew. We can go, order food and eat and all that. So I'm sure that's what Bonnie is talking about. Bonnie, am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so Joey.
All right. So let me talk about that. If it is about production, like the 6 models for an agency job, that's understandable because you're going to actually waste the whole day there, right? That you can charge for food because you're coming in with a crew. It's a big production job. But here is the case. Have you also thought about, okay, we have the production side. Have you also thought about you actually moving from, let's say, I'm here in Legon and I want to move to, let's say, Tema, from morning to 7. The shoot is, let's say, 2 hours. and I get to the client's end at let's say 8 o'clock, that's 2 hours. The client is not supposed to feed me because I'm just going to shoot. If it is a model shoot, or if it is, let's say, a family portrait or something like that, that is what I'm trying to say. You don't need to charge for food. But if it
Okay,
is a
that's
project, a big job, if it is a big job, oh, it's a production job, it's a corporate job. Let's say you go for a corporate job, you are shooting a whole company for almost like the whole day. Obviously, I would charge food in my invoice, and it's very necessary because that break, from what Ghananie said, that break you are even going to get. How sure are you're not going to go far off than 30 minutes? Because let's say
exactly.
the distance between where you are to the food is like 2 hours and you don't even have a car. For instance, like let's pretend you don't have a car, you have to order an Uber. You have to wait for the Uber, go and eat, request another one and come back. No. So with that, I understand you have to charge for the food. But if you're going to shoot for a 2 hour client, oh come on. Charge clients usually.
Yeah, so Joey, we understand that if it's a short time, up to 1 hour, 2 hours, Charlie, you can't burden your client with that. But then when it's a production, Muse, I saw your hand up. As in, you're okay, or you want to contribute?
Guys, I want to make a contribution. So for instance, I once did let's say a full day shoot in my studio. So let's say 8 hours. I was shooting between I think 12 to 20 people in the studio, right? And I was shooting on 2 different sets. So meaning this job lasted the full day. What happened was you can agree with the client that we shoot for 8 hours, but then there would be a 1 hour break in between. So you shoot the first 4 hours and then you break for 1 hour. Everybody eats and then we get back to work. In that instance, how big is your team that you want to charge for food? That's the first question. I believe in Ghana, maybe you and your team, you may not be more than 5 to 10 on average. Let's say you are ordering KFC. Let's be smart about how we utilize time. 25 CDs at KFC would get you a good meal. You can definitely order through Jumia Foods or via a delivery person, for instance.
Yeah.
I personally don't see why you should capitalize on wasting so much time to go and look for food in an area that you're not even familiar with. Even for that shoot, I personally didn't eat, but I just waited for everyone to finish eating. I drank or I had water, and then I just went back to shoot.
Were
So
you
meaning
fasting?
for the full 8 hours. No, I wasn't fasting. But I mean, come on. When you are doing something that you love, Charlie, your whole is inside, your heart, your everything is in. I don't know
It's
why.
true.
I would find it very petty if I received an invoice from someone that was rendering a service to me and I saw food on it. First thing, I'll just disqualify you for the job. It should be in how much you are charging as a company or as a sole proprietor or something. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
Apologies for the dogs barking in the back.
Yeah, they are doing their job. So I have a section where we'll discuss hidden fees. Should you make everything in your charge known to your client? So after Catalyst's presentation, we will talk about that. Should you have any hidden fees or not? Should you let your client know that you are charging him for airtime? You're charging him for all that. So Catalyst, we are back to. But before then, as Sean says, what with regards to the right of usage, is it going to be in a signed document? See, every agreement you have with your client should be signed. Whatever you agree with your client should be signed. That's why it's a contract. You get it? So that's the bottom line. Okay, news.
Yeah, and even if you believe maybe you have like a personal relationship with a client, just for documentation purposes, try to make the conversation via text message. In case it should go south, then you can always have a reference point to hold on to.
Okay, all right. Now, Naresh, I see you in the background. We'll add you shortly. So, Catalyst, take us away.
Well, Ghananie, I think we are still making the same mistake that we did yesterday, in the sense that we are looking at photography from the consumer point. I'll keep stating that we are photographers, and our main aim is to finally hit the commercial scene where we can be able to attain projects that are worth $100,000 and $200,000. We need to prepare ourselves towards these kind of goals. It's fine if someone comes for a 1 hour shoot and the person decides to give you food. That's fine. That's between you and the client. Now, let's not forget that we are talking about pricing. The pricing we are talking about has nothing to do with reimbursement or out of service expenses. It has nothing to do with that. Someone might have a car and decide that if I'm going to a client's place to go and shoot, I'm not going to charge the client for transportation. That is their problem. But from a business perspective, any expenses that you incur in the process of delivering the service to the client is the client's expenditure. Any expense you incur. Now, that's why insurance is there. Unfortunately, we live in a country where insurance for photographers are a bit on the downside. But I have a company that actually insures photographers. If you guys are interested, I can link
Oh,
you
I
all
think
up.
that's the first time of hearing this. So I will be interested. So we'll make it known. So after your presentation, you can just throw a bit of light. So how many minutes should we
All
give
right.
Catalyst?
Now, the new,
No, go on.
oh,
He will
but
type it in the
we are
chat.
having a discussion. We are having a discussion. This is not a presentation, it's a discussion.
Okay, go on.
Now, one thing you need to understand is you are looking at how to price your service. Let's forget about other things like transportation, like clothing. You can be, I have shot a 30 minutes, in fact, no, it was like 42 minutes engagement. I was paid so huge that day I called Muse and I was like, hey, what's happening? I've never experienced that. 42 minutes. I was paid more than my biggest package on my wedding package. Like I was going crazy. And they fed me, they dropped me off. They drove me all the way from Tema. Full vim. I was so happy. The next day they sent me an email, they thanked me, they did everything. We still have that kind of relationship. Just for 42 minutes. It was less than 30 people. It was like 22 people at that engagement. So
Wow.
it's a client, you and the client service, something that you are enjoying with your client. They are giving you food, that's fine. They are not forced to give you food. They are not forced to give you transportation. If you think you deserve it, ask them for it. Now, I was watching this video from Monty. Those who know Monty, is it Monty Isom or something like that? One, a very big commercial photographer. In his invoice, he has food, which is understandable. He even has per plate.
Hey.
He has it there. Yeah. The whole thing is with the kind of photography he does commercial photography. He's shooting for ESPN. He has about 20, 30 people on set. He doesn't want anyone to go outside the set to go look for their own food and come back. So he gets there, he provides food, and then everybody eats. And the client pays. I mean, if you are doing a big job worth 500,000, what is food worth
Yeah,
$10?
that's
You
true.
understand? The client knows that if I'm going to allow people to go eat and they have to spend 1 hour, it means I'm paying 1 hour creative fee of $600. Comparing that 1 hour creative fee of $600 and also giving those my people, because I have people also coming there to supervise and all of that, they are also going to eat. I have to reimburse them when they come back to the office. Why not just give this guy $500 to provide food for all of these people so that I don't need to pay reimbursement to my employees? I don't need to pay creative fee for extra hours spent going to look for food. Now, the beauty of pricing, which I want to say, is the fact that I know you said we will talk about hidden
Hidden fees.
fees somewhere, but let me just chip in something.
In fact, talk about it. Just carry it.
If you are building a house and then the person helping you, the contractor, says that we need 1,000 blocks to build the kitchen, the 1,000 blocks will cost 2,000 cedis. Now my fee for doing that for you is 10,000 cedis. You go crazy. Go like, how should I give you 10,000 cedis? Even the building itself cry is just 2,000. You
Exactly.
understand? Now, if the same contractor comes and says to build the kitchen, the raw materials and everything we'll be using is 10,000. My fee is 2,000. You might bargain for just the 2,000 cities because you don't want
Yeah.
to touch the 10,000. The 10,000 is what you are getting. So one of the secrets to pricing is to say that these are the gears that I'll be using for the shoot. Renting out these gears because I need 3 lights, considering the concept we are looking at. I need 3 lights. I'll be bringing 3 lights. I'll be bringing 2 cameras. I'll be bringing 4 lenses. Looking at all that, the rental for these things are for 4,600 cities. Now remember, if you have the gear, it doesn't mean the client has the gear. You have to treat some clients, in fact, top-notch clients, as if you are going to rent the gear. Because remember, we said wear and tear. Wear and tear in accounting, we call it what? Depreciation. As soon as you are clicking the shutter, it's depreciating.
Shutter count.
So you are renting, the client has to pay for the shutter count. They have to pay for each light that comes out of your strobes. So you are renting out the gear for them. After renting out the gear for them, they are renting your service, your expertise to use the gear they have rented from you. That's why you have rentals, you have creative fee. And after you take their pictures, they are renting out your expertise to retouch the images for them. So as Muse was saying, breakdown is really necessary. So if the client looks at the breakdown and says that it's expensive, maybe Muse is saying that I will charge you 1,000 cedis per image I retouch. Then they go to Joey and they say, I think the retouching from Muse and Joey, we don't really see any difference, but Joey is charging 700. So Muse, take out retouching from your invoice. We'll find a retoucher to do it. Then they go to Joey in order to get a lower cost. You understand? Because Joey says I'll charge them 700 per image. Or they say, okay, we have someone who always supplies us with camera gears and all of that when we are doing in-house production. We'll rent those gears for you. Then you can say that no, you're not comfortable using other people's gears because of insurance purpose. So you want to still use your gears. Then you hold on strong to that. You understand? So based on these things that you break down, the client understand. Now, if you go and put everything in lump sum, say that for this particular project, this product shoot that I'm going to shoot for you, I'm charging you 10,000. The client goes mad because when they hear 10,000, they only see your service fee, your creative fee. But when you say, I'm charging you an overall of 10,000, these are the breakdowns. Then the client says, oh, can you please reduce it for us? Fine. Out of the 10,000, my creative fee is say 2,000. That's because I am coming with 2 assistants. So to do the best for you, I will come with 1 assistant. Coming with 1 assistant, then I will increase the time that we are going to spend because maybe 2 assistants would have gotten the job done in 4 hours. 1 assistant will get it done in 5 hours. But 5 hours compared to 4 hours, the 5 hours is less because it doesn't have the fee for one person. You go into stuff like that with the client. You sit down to discuss. Let the client feel you are interested in their project. Don't go like, well, if you can't afford me, then Charlie, I'm sorry.
That's true.
That's client satisfaction. That's different. I have had people who came to me, and I'll say this again. They couldn't pay for my wedding cake, but I still gave them free consultation. Oh, you need a cake? Okay, I'll get you someone for cake. You need this? I'll get you someone for this. They went, used someone else for the wedding. Right after the wedding, They said, "Oh, we want to celebrate 1 month anniversary. We want you to come and shoot for us." I have been shooting this couple till I left Ghana. I shoot when she got pregnant, I shot. When they gave birth, I shoot. Birthdays, I shoot. Everything because they feel you valued their experience. So that's different. But for pricing, break it down. That's why you see wedding packages and they say, "Hey, Charlie, this particular photographer is charging 7,000 cedis." Go and put a flat rate of 7,000 on your package. No one will even mind you, regardless of how good your images are. Because that 7,000 that these people are charging, they have a breakdown. We'll give you this, we'll provide you with that, we'll provide you with this. These are the breakdowns. I hope you understand. So, all this food and all of those things, we are trying to move away from the main topic of pricing. Those ones are add ons. Those ones come in when the relationship is good. I went to Kumasi for a shoot. They took me straight to Golden Tulip.
Aye.
The shoot was for 1 day, but then they took me there for 4 days.
Whoa.
4 days. I went to Kenya. The shoot, the NGO shoot, was for just 1 week. I spent 1 month in Kenya, all expense paid, because of the relationship. At the end of the day, I'm here. I'm still doing stuff for the NGO. I'm still doing stuff for myself because of the relationship that you build with those
Okay,
people.
so Catalyst, I'm not cutting you short, but we have our topic for
You catch me,
tomorrow.
but but
No, client relationship. That will be our topic for tomorrow. Shafiq, don't you agree? Yes, so
100%.
yeah, so our
100%.
topic for tomorrow is client relationship. So Catalyst, you can start preparing your slides. Please carry on.
okay. So just to end with something, I want to just go into a breakdown. You might choose whatever you want. Take the key things that you want for yourself. I'm not an expert in all forms of photography, but I have a fair idea of what goes into what. So let's say, for instance, you have a studio shoot. What goes into the pricing for studio? Studio space, that's one. The gear you use always comes in. You can choose not to add the gear because you know you're starting up. Consumer, when you are into consumer photography service, you don't put gears in there. It makes the client cringe a little bit. Like you don't have the tools for your service. There's a difference between Uber and taxi. And then there's a difference between Uber and VIP. You understand?
Mm.
Now, VIP will say, when we give you this particular coach, this is how much you are going to pay. Uber will say, we are just taking you to your destination. Depending on the distance, we charge you, we go away. So, consumer photography, you don't put in things like gear, you put in hours, number of outfits, the output, how many images you are going to give out,
I was about adding
how
that.
many, yes, how many final images, if there is an extra image the person wants. Now, if you go to the higher end of consumer photography in terms of studio shoots, then you add things like storage, delivery. But then if it's on the basics, you don't add those things. You do it, you send the person some Google link or you send some WhatsApp document so the person downloads and goes their way. Don't be too like that in the person's face. Now, when you go to the higher end, which is the consumer slash commercial, for instance, someone is doing a fashion catalog, but it's a startup, Charlie, it's not really that big. Then you can start introducing the person to the world of commercial photography. You have the shoot, then you just give the person a one-page license saying these pictures can be used on social media, and then maybe a pamphlet or marketing leaflet in case you decide to use it on billboards and commercial stuff like billboards and TV adverts. you would have to contact us for a different kind of licensing. You're introducing the person to the world of business. So by the time they grow to be big, they know that it's not every picture you can use for everything. So you're growing with them. But then if right at the beginning you start throwing big bombs at them, it's just like someone throwing taxes at you.
I'll run
At
away.
the moment. Exactly. But then when you are growing into it and then you understand some of the benefits of having these licenses and stuff, then they grow with you. There are people who have shot the same company for more than 20 years. You think they don't provide any quality or any value to them? They do.
They do.
Now, when it comes to wedding, so that's for studio part of it. When it comes to wedding, you are looking at stuff like number of hours, number of photographers. You are looking at the output as usual, the time of delivery. So people say we'll give you the pictures in 1 month. If you want express, we can give you 20 images express for this amount. If you want a backdrop at your wedding, we can provide it for you at this amount. If you want a photo book, depending on uh if it is what's the name of all that, matte finish, if it's glass finish, metal finish, if you want frames, this is the amount. You get it? You put all those things in there. When you go to newborn, it hurts me that Kus and Click didn't show up today.
He's here. He's in.
Newborn.
So after you, he's coming in.
Okay, then let me leave him to say his newborn things before he
Yeah,
tells me I'm stealing his
Please
business.
finish your thing.
he's right here. He's here. So,
When it comes to
King,
newborn,
you're welcome. And we know I've added you. So once Catalyst is done, then you come in. Yeah.
yes, I'm almost done, so no problem.
Okay.
When it comes to newborn, there are a number of things that has to go through that maybe he will talk about. Now, at the end of the day, you need to grow. There is this video guy, and this is the last thing I want to talk about before I probably end up. There is this wedding video guy. I forgot his name. It has a VK something something.
VK.
When he started shooting, he said he was charging, I think, $1,000 for a wedding video. His main aim was to get 4,000 a month, which means every week he will shoot 1,000. He will shoot one wedding. So he was shooting a wedding each week, getting $1,000, which means he was getting his 4,000. At some point, his quality was so good that people started requesting too much. He now increased his price
I've watched
to
that video. I think I know him
He
now.
was 2,000, and then he was getting 2 clients every month. He was still making his 4,000. At some point, every week he was shooting for 2,000. Then he increased it again to 4,000. He was getting 2 clients a month, and now increased again to 4. Now he picks his clients. He shoots like 12 weddings in a year or 8 weddings in a year. He can charge as much as $100,000 for one wedding video. And his quality speaks for itself. When you see the videos, you go like, what? And that's how it works. If you want to grow that way, that's fine. Another way people also grow is that they want more. So people can shoot 300 weddings in a year. So they grow the number of people they work with. So in one Saturday, they can shoot 5 weddings with 5 different groups. And it works for them. Some people don't want that. Some people don't want to work with everybody. I like a small team. I've always loved a small team. So because of that, at some point, I'll keep increasing my price in order to create a niche of clients that I can work with. Very little, so I can have time for family. Somebody wouldn't want that. They love it, the thrill of always shooting. So they can shoot every day. Maybe I don't want that. I want to shoot once or twice in a week. So depending on the pricing, that's why pricing is different, but you need to know the core things. You are pricing in order to make profit. So make sure you know your expenses, make sure you know how much income or profit you are looking at, and price accordingly. That's all I say.
Okay. All right. So Kingsley, welcome. Kingsley, I know what Catalyst was saying, getting to the end. Yesterday Kingsley explained that now he gives his price list to his clients, then he decides who to shoot. That means Kingsley has reached the level where, Catalyst was describing, that he's no more just shooting for the numbers, but he's shooting according to, the quality of the client, if I'm allowed to say. So now he chooses, okay, 5 clients want my service this weekend. I'm choosing just 1. I'm not going to expand my workforce. I just want to pick 1 person per week. That's what. So now Kingsley is here to explain. Kingsley has developed his niche. He shoots only babies and the immediate family. So he's going to tell us about his experience and how he goes about the pricing and all that, to give us an idea, because I believe most of you here want, even though you've not developed your specific niche, that's why we are here. You want to hear all these things so that you can decide, okay, I want to shoot only cats, and all that. So Kus and Clicks, let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me here, actually.
In the meantime, where is your video?
Well, you want to see my face?
Not me, everybody. Good. They want to see you.
That's
Awesome.
me.
Now carry on.
Charlie, means I salute to big boys. Yeah,
I greet you, my chairman.
Said everything. Yeah. Catalyst has actually said everything, but he keeps mentioning the 100K and stuff. Charlie, I want some of that money. Me, I've not seen some before. I need that money, so. But we are in Ghana here. And I do much of consumer photography. That's the families he just mentioned and babies. Yeah, I mean the baby industry. Okay, so normally when it comes to pricing in Ghana, you need to know your cost involved. That's the price of your camera. If you have a studio, the cost involved, rent, electricity, all those fixed costs in there. Before you have your variable costs that comes in as think food, transportation. It varies here and there whenever there's a session going on. Cool. With pricing, right, I believe you should look at the market you are going into before you create your price. I keep saying it's a market we came to meet. It's an industry that has been there. We didn't create the industry. We just came to upgrade it. You get it? So if you come into the industry and let's say for the wedding industry like this, averagely they charge, let's say 5K for a wedding and engagement. And you come into the industry and say, oh, media, I like money, I want to charge 10K. Yes, you have your rate price, you have the 10K there, but if nobody comes to you, that 10K is nothing. It's not going into your bank. It's just on your rate card. Yeah, you're expensive on the rate card, but you don't have any money in your bank. You get me? Right. So yeah. So one thing. So we have to look at the market. Photography is a business. In every business, you have to do market research. With products like, let's say, Coke and let me use Coke for example. They know the ingredients they use to produce 1 bottle of Coke. So they can say, okay, we use 50 pesos for production and our profit margin is, let's say, 50 pesos. So let's say 1 CD for Coke. You get me? But with services, it's very difficult to price. It varies. It's subjective to every person. If, let's say, maybe at the end of the year, I want to have 200K, I think I'm valued at 200K at the end of the year. That's you. If you want to go for 400K, that is you. But you have to do a market research to know what is, in quotes, normal in the industry before you come up with your price. You get it? Let me ask you this question, Ghananie. Do you pay yourself salary?
See, to be frank, Catalyst, why are you laughing? You are laughing behind the scenes. Okay, so why are you guys Muse? You're also laughing. Okay, so I think this question should go to every. Oh, Joey, why are you all laughing at me? Okay, this question goes to everybody here. Those listening, those watching, everybody, those on the panel. Do you pay yourselves salaries? Please add them in the comment. Just type them. We'll just read them. Joey, don't give me sign language. Please type it in there. Let's see how many people here pay themselves salary. Okay, what I do, I think later we'll talk about expenditure also. as photographers, because I know most of us make monies, but at the end of the day, we don't know where those monies go because we don't manage our funds well. Now, with me, I've developed a ratio. Basically, when I get paid for now, it's not that comprehensive. I divide the money into three. One part goes back into the business. One part for, rents, bills, utilities, and all that. And then one part goes to me. So that's whether it's my salary or, I just see it as I divide the money into three. So if it's 300, 100 goes back into the business. So I save it. If there is need for gear or something, that 100 cedis goes there. The other 100 cedis is for utilities, bills, water bills, everything like that. And then the third one comes to me. So I can say, yes, I pay myself. The other should also
you pay yourself on every project. You're a rich man.
I beg you. And at the same time, that same money I pay myself ends up going back into the business. Because if I need to, let's say emergency, and the money from the business is not enough, I will have to add my personal money. So at the end of the day, and I don't remember the last time I did shopping for myself. Everything goes back into, let's say I have a studio. I'm always thinking about how people are going to be comfortable in there. So every money that comes, I'm thinking, okay, this chair is making quack, quack, quack. Let me get another one. I need air freshener and all that. I always want to get something fresh. So yes, I've answered you. Kindly continue.
All right. So I think I was looking into the market to feedback BOB, Joey.
Joey, it's you. Your mic is on. Let me mute you from here. Okay, please go on, Kingsley.
Okay, so as I was saying, you look at the market. As I said, the market is already there. So at least do your market research. It's something that is common in every business. And I think photography is not different from any other business. You get me? So now, after getting to know the market and the prices out there, you look at your customers. You get to know your customers. That's the KYC. Catalyst, that's right. Right? You are the finance guy, KYC, know your customers, right?
Catalyst seems lost.
I know, right? Don't mind him. Okay, so that's where the niche comes in. Yeah, to the baby photography industry. But then again, we have the low incomers, middle, and high. Who is your target? Yes, with the low income people, they are the mass. They are the mass. Middle, average. The high income people are a few. With a high income, let's say maybe for one baby session, photo shoot session, you want to charge, let's say, 2,000 or 3,000. How many people will come to you in a month? Yeah, your rate card looks good. Yeah, on paper, yeah, you have the money and all that. But on the real, are people actually coming to you?
Okay.
Do you get me? So, and now let's look at the middle income, averagely, let's say 800, 800,000. Yeah, we have people out there who can afford that because that's your target. You are looking at families. Do you think a family will get up and say, okay, we want to spend 4,000, 5,000 on a newborn baby's photo session? Yeah, we have packages for that. We have people who would go in for that. But from what I'm experiencing, most of my clients come from the middle income range. I have a few people who come for the high-end stuff. In photography, when I was starting this whole thing, I learned something. When you are creating your rate card, put a price in there you don't expect anyone to come for. That's a really, really high-end one. You don't even expect anybody to come for. But when the person comes for it, Charlie, it's God's blessing. But there's a rate we have that you want everybody to come for. When I take your rate card, like for example, when I carry my rate card, I want everybody to go to maybe the middle package I have. Forget the low, forget the high, just come to that middle package. And I think that will help me in my business too, because it covers a lot of cost and my profit margins are high. You get me? And also, when it comes to profit, or let's say profit margin. Catalyst was explaining your getting to know your cost of business and adding a profit margin becomes your total. What is it? What's the way? I think total cost. No, was it total?
The total cost is your cost of doing business plus your profit margin or catalyst.
Okay, so it's the total cost plus desired profits to be equal to the final price or final revenue that you're looking at for the year.
Yeah. Final price, yes, final price. Now the profit margin, we have to be fair. We have to be fair. Yeah, everybody wants to be rich quick. Charlie, you can't be rich quick. You can't be rich quick. There's stomach pricing and there's pricing out there. Like there's market price out there. If you want to come out and be charging the 10K, 20K, but even I pray I receive that amount of money one day, the 100K especially. So when you start charging those, as I said, you have it in your rate card, but that doesn't mean people will come to you. You get it? And we were saying yesterday, charging some amount of price, right? Should show comes from where you live, your location, the people you know, your network. If you're in cantonment, you are with the big guy stuff, the people who are able to afford 20K and stuff for photo shoot and all that. But if you come to the Tema side, okay, 18 painters.
What do you mean Tema? What are you trying to say?
We have lots of middle incomers in Tema.
How did you add Spintex?
It's just not bad.
I beg.
So that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So we just have to be fair with our profit margin. We don't have to go crazy trying to make like 20,000. Okay, you can make 20,000 a day, but like trying to make 100,000 a day just like that without adding value to your work.
Who makes 20,000 a day?
Hey, somebody does. Hey. I see Catalyst is covering his face.
Okay, so not to cut you short, but Bright brought a question up. I don't really understand it, but maybe you guys here will understand. He's asking, is it advisable to place your price on your packages? As in, like, I think that has to do with the rate card, whether you should, but if you don't have your price on, how then does it become a rate card?
Package without price is a manifesto.
Okay.
Or in other words,
Joey, what
package without price is just a profile page.
Okay. Joey, what do you have to say about that? Don't say exactly what Catalyst said.
Exactly what he said.
Okay, Hughes, what do you have to say?
Catalyst has said it all.
Thank you.
Okay. What do you have to say? Don't repeat what they said.
Catalyst, you do all. I did not repeat it.
Okay, Momento, we acknowledge your presence. We know you're backstage. You started the whole show, and if there's any contribution you want to make, please let me know so that we can bring you on, so you don't feel ignored. Stella, we are aware you are in the house now, so I sent the link. I'll post it again. So if you can join us, please do. Okay, I think Seboni, do you okay. Stella, please join so that we can add you. So King, please continue.
Yeah. So that's the concerning the profit margin. Yeah, you shouldn't be extravagant. Charlie, let's be fair and just make the industry work for us. All I can say is at the end of the day, is the bookings we need. Is the booking. Money, yes, it's kind of l'argent. That's what's needed. But don't price below your expenses, like your expenses, don't price below it. Get to know your expenses, put your profit margin on there and charge your charge.
Okay.
You get
Is that how you're ending your manifesto?
Oh, I'm not ending my manifesto like that. If you want me to go like deep into my like what I do there, fine, I can go in there. This I just wanted to generalize it.
Yes, we are talking about pricing, because there are still people here who charge 200 cedis for a session. And I tell you, they have no idea why they are charging 200.
Oh, see, you see, the thing is, somebody can charge 200 for a session. I don't mind. I think he has a reason, or he or she has a reason for charging
No,
that.
he has no reason. He doesn't know why. It's just because Awati said they heard that Catalyst charges between 200 and 250, and they think, oh, I'm not up to Catalyst level, so let me get. Or if Catalyst is my boss and he's charging 250, then I should charge 200. Like they have no idea whatsoever. So let's break it down.
All is well.
Yeah, all is well, Catalyst. All is well. So let's break it down for them, so they will understand that, okay, for you to now, what you're charging now, you need to go sit down. Let's say the next 1 week, don't shoot, don't take any gigs, don't do anything. Just sit down, take pen and paper or your tablet or whatever it is. Sit down, do calculation, analysis, and all that. Come up with a proper rate card before you resume business. I want us to restructure these people.
I want to make a contribution. I want to make a contribution.
Hold on, let me just finish this. Then you come on, okay? Lest I forget. So let's demystify this whole thing to them, so that when they leave here, they will be able to go, and then within a week or two, they should be able to come up with a reasonable rate card. Now they should be confident enough to say, okay, I'm charging 200 or 100 cedis because of so and so and so and so and so. You get it?
Okay.
I want us to build them up. Okay, so Joey, you have 1 minute for your submission.
All right. So what I wanted to say was here, all the contributions made by all the panelists here, they are trying to look at photography and beyond. But here in Ghana, I'm not saying we are all trying to restrict ourselves to Ghana, but let's be real here. Like, we are in a country where much of these things are not respected. Nobody's aim is to stay in Ghana forever, but man has to eat. Why someone is charging 200 Ghana cedis, which we don't even know? I think if they know, okay, Joey is charging 1,000 Ghana cedis, then they want to charge lesser, like 500 Ghana cedis. They think they are undercutting, but to somebody who is already in the business, from a lot of knowledge I've gathered from people, to somebody who is already in the business, it wouldn't be a problem, because when the client goes for that 500 Ghana cedis and the client realizes that 500 Ghana cedis is not worth that 1,000 Ghana cedis, nobody, I repeat, nobody will tell the client to come back for you. You get it? And it shouldn't really be a bother if you hear, oh, somebody's undercutting your price. In the sense that, I think I said this 2 days ago, yesterday, in the sense that your niche of photography, right? What you do probably isn't what the person is doing. If I'm charging 1,000 Ghana cedi for beauty and I get a wedding photographer charging 500 Ghana cedi for beauty, there's definitely no way that wedding photographer will shoot like a beauty photographer. Same way a beauty photographer charging wedding for, let's say, 200 Ghana cedis. Literally, the wedding photographer has like a lot of knowledge on where to pose. You can have the knowledge on lighting and everything, but wedding photography and beauty photography are two different things. So in as much as we are all trying to eat, and in as much as people don't know why they charge what they charge, I think one shouldn't be bothered if I hear, oh, somebody's undercutting my price, because I don't mind, in the sense that what he or she is doing will literally not be the same quality or the same product I will be given. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Okay, Joey. So there's a question, Catalyst. 1 second, Joey. There's a question aimed at you, a bullet. Kweku Wilson says, what if the person undercutting you is on your same level? You guys produce the same quality.
That is where I have a problem, because in the sense that we are all doing the same thing. We are all giving out good quality jobs. This is where communication has to prevail, where we need to both understand that we are all good. We all have the same quality. We all have the same level of standard, whatever people put in. We should come together and make a price list in such a way that just clients won't go here and come and say, oh, I met somebody cheaper.
But what as I said, we must all chop.
Oh, yes, you must all chop, but that doesn't mean we must bring down the price. All right.
Okay, Catalyst.
I think one thing that we are refusing to understand is what we are talking about is standard pricing. There are certain situations where you might overlook your pricing, you might even throw it away. Let's say I am a photographer, I'm in dire need of money for my sister's operation or my brother's operation. I need some 200 Ghana quickly. I know my level. My level is say 2,000 cities, but I need these monies quickly for something. I can undercut myself. I can lowball myself. Say that look, I am doing a photo shoot, 200 cities, 5 pictures, quickly, sharp, sharp, sharp. Get my money. That's different. There are
What you call
situations
promo?
where you can what?
Promo.
It doesn't matter. There are situations where you can lowball yourself. Or I've realized that hey, this person is in Ghana, he is maybe the marketing manager for, let's say,
Nike.
Under
Nike.
Armour or Nike or something
Nike.
like that.
Yes.
And then I get a chance to get into contact with this person. And then I say, Charlie, I want to do a shoot for you because I want you in my portfolio. Like, I'm happy to meet you. I'll shoot you for free. Everything. Or you just pay me my transportation and I'll show up and shoot. That's a different, it's a specialized pricing right there. That's because you know what you need it for. What we are talking about is if you are lowballing yourself as a standard price without much knowledge about what the industry is. That's what we are here to educate. We are not here to push it down everybody's throat that this is the way you should price yourself. Not at all. We are making you understand the reality of the industry so that you know if you are doing the right thing or you are doing the wrong thing because of lack of knowledge. But if you have the knowledge already and you want to lowball yourself, go on, go on. No one bought your gears for you. Feel
All right.
free. Maybe there's a reason for you lowballing yourself. You understand? So we
Yeah.
are not here to say that if you are charging 200 CDs, you are a terrible person. Maybe you are charging 200 CDs because your marketing tool is to enter the industry, have more images out there. So 200 will bring more people to you. There are people that I see their work on social media and then I contact them, go like, with this quality of work, I don't expect you to be charging 500 cedis per shoot. What's happening? Then they'll tell you the truth. The truth is the niche that they have, that's how much they charge. They don't know how to enter into a different niche. Then they can sort for help. You understand? But
Yeah.
for you to say, you are doing this thing, and you are lowballing yourself, you are charging 500, you are a fool, you are an asshole, you are sorry for using these words on message.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
very
yeah. We
sorry.
know. We know you are in Sacramento, so we understand.
You understand? You just chastise and criticize the person without having the background knowledge of why they are charging what they are charging. Then please, you are doing the wrong thing.
All right. All right. All right. So that's it from Catalyst. Momento. Let's have your final word so we can bring Selah on so he can, share something small with us. So, Mr. Momento, if you have anything to tell us, let's hear from you.
No, I think everybody else here has pretty much said everything. There really isn't anything different that I'm going to add. So really everything that has been said has been on point and covers, covers everything. So yeah, so for me, I don't have anything to add. I think the issues have been well discussed.
Okay.
We have enough insight.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for joining the panel. It was very, very impromptu, but we appreciate, you joining at short notice. Like, we'll plan a better one where, you can prepare well for that.
Sure. My pleasure.
Okay. All right. So I'll replace you with Selah so that we can go on. All right. Thank you very much, Wisdom. Okay. So, King, you were making a submission before we had to cut in.
I even want to add something. Yeah, I even want to add something.
Okay, one second. Selah, please come in so I can add you to the stream. Selah, if you're listening, please come in so I can add you to the stream. Okay, King, please go on.
Okay, so when it comes to underpricing, right? People are saying lowballing and stuff. There might be a reason the person is doing that. You get me? So let's say, for example, Catalyst spoke about a trade-off yesterday. If I see the type of clients coming to me and I see that, oh, okay, this person can bring me more potential clients and I underprice, I might tell the client that, yeah, I'm underpricing or I'm giving you this package because I want this from you. I want to get to know you, like, yeah, recommend me to people, but this is not the price I charge. But it's like, in quotes, a favor. So let's get it on. To be truthful, or to be honest, yeah, I actually started this schools and clicks thing by undercutting.
Okay.
I met this wonderful person by undercutting. You get me? That's how I created this partnership. I think she should be in the comments in there. She came to laugh and ran away.
Yeah, that be or something. Did you know I saw?
Yeah.
Her salary. So please do. She posted it somewhere in there.
Really?
Yes.
So you get it. So as Catalyst said, if you want to underprice, there should be something you are getting back. You get me? So that's what I have to say. It's subjective to everyone. Yeah, you can maintain your prices and yeah, people will come to you. You can undercut, trade off, and it works for you. Sometimes it doesn't work for you. By the end of the day, just pray and believe and work hard that it would work. By the end of the day, Charlie, we are working for money, not for fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're working for money.
Oh, no. It's not for fun. We need a lasagna.
Okay. So we see your favorite photo. Okay, so today we lost your favorite MC's MC. And
Charlie,
unfortunately, yes. And now we have your favorite photo. I think, Salah, what's up? Are you painting? Is that a street light?
Yeah, the things. You know, street light, or shall I video light?
Oh, okay. All right. So, Stella, we've been discussing pricing. You know, tell us.
Hey,
I think. Are you great, Shafiq? Okay, these guys here have all said, so much about it. Throw more light on it. Tell us something from your point of view. We want to learn.
My point of view.
Yes.
Pricing, I think, is being like a subject we've talked about. I think from Charlie, the beginning of everything. Unfortunately, we don't live in a system where people are picked for the quality of their work. It's a who you know sort of society we are in. So a lot of people have to price low to like enter the market, and then eventually maybe they are in quotes wise up and then get like competitive rates that usually helps the system. So
that they want to see your face.
Charlie, my front camera is not working.
Hey. So okay, carry on. Okay, carry on.
So yeah, I think if you follow like the business modules like Catalyst does, I think you should have like that sort of education or that sort of knowledge before you try and take like personal measures when it comes to pricing.
Okay.
Yeah. Because honestly, I think everybody has like goals when it comes to the photography, as in how much they want to earn. Some people are fine pocketing so that they can get food at the end of the day.
Hand to mouth.
And then shall they pay bills? Yeah. Some people are in it for like the long term.
Okay, so guys, you heard it from the light master, the god of light. See, so now
see.
He's painting on his roof at this moment, at this time of the night. You see, So I think Stella has said what he needs to say. So Stella, if it will be a border, if we are interrupting, you can go ahead and then do your painting.
Oh no, I'm listening in. So.
Oh, okay, all right.
I mean,
all
to be
right.
honest, I don't have anything to like contribute when it comes to like the business side of photography because I've more like winged it for a while.
Okay.
I've not been a very good businessman. Now and then I'll come out and say it, and it's something I'm working on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are just wrapping up. So Catalyst, please come on here. Good. So Catalyst,
Sorry,
you want to?
I need a one-on-one class.
Guys, I've been telling Catalyst to.
You can hit me up anytime.
I need one.
I've been telling Catalyst to have a YouTube channel, because he has so much knowledge when it comes to business.
Nah, Catalyst is not Oswald. Catalyst is not Oswald. So he doesn't need a YouTube channel. He needs like Charlie creates packages because he went to school and Charlie has certificates to like show off. So
yes, so he can use YouTube. He can use YouTube, the style that F-Stoppers and co are using. 3 minutes on YouTube, and then the rest you pay for it before. So it's to ginger you. YouTube is to ginger you so that you pay for the real thing. You get it?
Barcela, I'm creating some templates, and I think you are one of the people I have on my list to test it for free. So once I'm done with that, I'll just ship all of it to you.
Yes, so he has selected you as part of his guinea pigs. He will slaughter you. You will see blood. Okay, so Catalyst, before you leave, please continue. We have done 2 hours, but I think people are still enjoying. If you guys have any questions, yes, I think from the beginning the questions were coming, but then the thing is, as you were talking, I left most of the questions because you addressed all of them whilst you were talking. So now, guys, you heard everything that they all had to say. So if you have any specific questions, something they haven't touched on yet, please drop them so that they will answer them before we go. We should be here for at most the next 10 minutes to answer questions. But in the meantime, as we wait for questions, please, if you have anything to bring out, let's hear them.
Okay. One thing I will say is, you may think that in Ghana, people don't appreciate photography. It's not true. Every business has an aim of reducing expenses and maximizing their profit. They understand. However, they know the norm is that you think they don't understand. So when you come with a bill, they will undercut you. No one will wake up in the morning and say, I had a dream that there was an Instagram account called MuseGH that I have to contact for a project. They researched, they looked at your work, they saw the value, they decided to contact you. And they know it's not going to be cheap. But then when you send your bill and you send 5,000 cedis, and they come back and they tell you that, oh, please, we can't afford it. Da, 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 da. And then you mistakenly, and I'll say this, say that, oh, what's your budget? They will undercut you. They have their budget, all right, but the wrong statement is to say, what is your budget? Tell them that this is your price. Now, these are the outputs. Let's go through them and see the things that you don't necessarily need. So we'll take them out and see where we arrive at. Walk them, give them the chance to walk through the estimate you've given them. But when you ask what's your budget, even me, when you say you are charging 700 for a session, and I tell you, Charlie, I can't pay, then you tell me that what's my budget, I'll tell you 200 Ghana. Although maybe I budgeted 500 for you. So instead, walk me through. These are the things that the 700 cedis comes with. Then I'll tell you that, 10 images. Charlie, you know what? Let me make it 7. Eh? Oh, 2 hours. Can I make it 1 hour? Then you take all of that out. Remember, I've always said, don't touch your creative fee. So it might be 700 for 2 hours of shoot for 10 pictures. But if we reduce it to 7 pictures for 1 hour, it's going to just be around 600 cities. It's not going down that much because my creative fee is stuck there big. If it's 500 cities, it's stuck there. So for me, I always say, don't touch your creative fee. Walk them through your estimate. Let them take out things that they want to take out, but don't ask for their budget. It's even insulting. Imagine if Adidas comes to you, we want to work with you. Then you tell them that what's your budget? I mean, think about it. Coca-Cola comes to you. Oh, Muse, we want to work with you. Then Muse sends 100K Ghana cedis budget estimate. Then Coca-Cola says, "Oh, we can't afford that." Then you say, "What's your budget?" Of course, the finance guy always wants to cut down. But you say, "Okay, you can't take it. Then let's go through it so that we see the elements in there that you don't really need so that we adjust appropriately." That's how you work as a businessman. But if you go on to say, "What's your budget? What's your budget?" Someone will even tell you that I didn't. See, there was a time a client told me that, "Charlie, me, I didn't really budget for this shoot. Oh, it's just that my wife is worrying me. Let's take picture. Let's take picture. That's why I'm
Then they,
doing this."
then they should use their phone.
And then you say, "Oh, you no problem." Then you tell you that, "Oh, you know what? You let's do this one. I have more shoots. I have friends. I have buddies. I will link you up."
And I rest you
You
are
shoot
on.
for them, then boom, they are out.
That statement, it's annoying.
You understand? Me, here's my rule. If you tell me you have friends, you have people you will link me up with, my rule is link me up with them first. Let me see the emails. Let me see the messages. Then we'll continue from there. But then I'll link you up after the shoot. Or someone will say, "Oh, for instance, you're charging me 700. Let me give you 200. After I get the pictures, then I'll give you the 500."
Lie,
Bro,
lie.
who goes to a shop and say that you give me soap, let me go and bath. When I finish bathing and then I realize that I'm clean, I'll come and pay you the rest of the soap money.
Lie, lie.
Let's face it, we are the ones who are creating that impression that the industry, oh, it's not respectable. A client once told me that instead of going to school, you are here taking pictures
Ow.
because they
Ow.
don't because they don't respect it. And this
You are
same
lucky they don't stop you from marrying their daughter.
oh, luckily for me, the following month, this client showed up in my office. He
Wow.
was so embarrassed. Here I was sitting in front of him, a tax consultant, and then he was there. He was like, "Hey, I think I know you from somewhere." You understand? Let's face fact. If you come out as a pure businessman, they respect you as such. There are people we started with, and now they are charging 10K. Their work has not improved in any way, but their business side has improved. They go for meetings, they sit down, they dress properly, they have good manners. There was a photographer that I shot with. When he told me how he approached his clients, I felt terrible. I was like, "Charlie, I'm a hobbyist." I'm sure Shafiq knows this person. He showed us a plan of the wedding, how they sit. The
Wow.
client sent me a plan, how they sit, the spaces between. That's what he used to price the client. Said that, okay, based on the setting and everything, the arrangement and the number of people they are looking at, we will need 4 photographers or 5 photographers. Each photographer will cost you this much. He's sitting down there planning the whole thing with the client. But for us, we say, "Oh, package." Someone picks your biggest package and you keep shouting, "Yay!" You get to the wedding and you realize the wedding is made up of 800 people. We don't even have space to shoot.
Mm.
It's like going to take what do you call him, Despite Son's wedding. Then you get there, you don't even have space to shoot because you didn't prepare. You didn't ask them what's the plan. How is
Yes,
the place going to
because
be
there are
arranged? How is the
500
room?
other photographers.
Exactly. Who and who is coming to shoot apart from me? What is my right? Where are my exclusive rights? Is my exclusive to the what do we call that
The
thing after?
exclusives.
Yes. Am I right to that, or I have to share that particular point with somebody else? Do I have to share pictures that I have to shoot with the family with someone else? You need to know all these things. Whilst you are going through all these things, just you me, people will just love the business side of it. You might not shoot their wedding, but they will recommend you for someone else because they will say this guy there, Charlie, is professional. So that's the one piece I can add.
Okay.
And I read
Do you
the
still have to
professor is
go?
here.
Kata, do you still have to go?
No, I'm still here. I'm here.
Okay, good. So Bright asked a question which I think we answered, but he said it wasn't to his satisfaction. He was, I don't really get it, but then he was the one who asked if he should have prices on his rate card. Now, his point is if you're charging UTV, you can't charge UTV the same as charging maybe King who wants you to come and do a shoot for, a behind the scenes shoot for him. But Bright, I think where the problem is that what we talked about two separate aspects. One is the commercial part, and then one is the consumer part. So your low income person, as you said, person, UTV is an entity, it's the company. So you're not going to attack UTV as you're going to attack your pre-birthday person. You get it? So I don't know, you guys, do you have anything to? He's talking about a low income person and then a high, let's say, a company. See, so now I think what has to do with that is with the rate. So should he have the same rate for the different categories of people, or should he? So he is trying to say that what if he has, let's say, the same package but no rate, no price on it, so you can send the same package to people, but it still boils down to the same thing. How do you send a package to people without the price on it? So what I would suggest is have two packages, one for low income, one for high income, if that's how you want it. But I see these two as two separate things. One is, let's say, a corporate end, one is a consumer side. Or what do you guys have to say?
Okay, let me just make it quick so that the rest will have the time to
Okay, so Joey,
say
after
something.
Catalyst, you
Joey
can
is
log
ready.
out. You can just say it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Catalyst, please go on.
All right. So what I'll say quickly is that if a commercial gig comes to your table and they ask you for price, they are actually asking you for your hourly rate. That's one thing that will be clear. So when they come in, they say, how much will it cost for us to have you for a 1 day shoot? It's your hourly rate they're asking for. You tell them your hourly rate only. Don't tell them that my package is this. Tell them that I charge 500 cedis per hour. Then, when they agree to that hourly rate, then they would like to introduce you to the project. The project details might demand you bring a model, you bring a makeup artist. Then you guys are finalizing those figures. But when they ask you how much will it cost to have you for a 1 day shoot, they're asking you for your hourly rate. So state it clearly. My hourly rate is 500 cedis per hour, and my assistant's rate is 200 cedis per hour. It has to be
Okay.
clearly stated. So
Okay.
that's
All
the
right.
difference between the commercial side and the consumer side.
Okay. So Bright, I hope that's understandable. Joey, you have something to say concerning this.
No, I didn't. I was saying Catalyst was the best person to answer this question.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Joey, do you still have to go?
I have some video games to play.
You are mad. Stay there. Shafik, you have the floor.
Okay, guys. So I want to add on to what Kobe is saying. Usually in other parts of the world, there's something called pre-production. And if you are towards like the commercial side or you do more commercial gigs, you would realize that pre-production is even more important than the shoot itself, because that's what's going to lead you in many ways. It can even lead you into how you charge. There was this time back, like a lady hit me up for a shoot. I thought that was some small gig, and then I told her that let's meet up so that we can discuss details before I give you a final price. And then she was like, sure, why not? So then I met up with her at Sigusta. I offered her ice cream. I also had ice cream. And then throughout the whole session, we spoke, we spoke about even stuff out of what we wanted to do. And you see, that's what Kobe said. Building a relationship is very key to your business. Throughout that side, you see that like we even vibed more and stuff. And when I gave her the chat, she was like, hey, this one is a lot too. What can you do about this for me? And I was like, you know what? Based on the brief that you've given me, I've given you a very cool price. So there's nothing really that can be done about it. But then this is what I have to offer. And she was like, okay, sure. She'll think about it and get back to me. Trust. She got back and I booked the shoot and then we did it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So pre-production, at that point, I had buying the ice cream, but then at least she appreciated it and all of that. So that's why I just have to add on to what Kobe said. Pre-production is very important. It leads you into different stuff.
Okay. All right. Kingsley, you deal with baby photography. What Shafiq just said about pre-production, you know, I know you guys do a lot of it. So tell us about it.
Okay, so yeah, we do a lot of pre-production. So we basically communicate with or they have a chat with parents to know what they want for their babies. So our prices includes props. We have props in our studios. So everything you want us to do, we kind of like, I think so far so good. We have the props for it. So, and one thing is with the pre-production cost and stuff, we have a rate card.
Okay.
I can't give you my rate card and I'll start changing prices and stuff. No. So mine is fixed. If you come in there, you go in for the silver package. It's this price. If you go in for the mini bronze, this price. And they all come with a number of pictures and setups.
Okay.
And outfit, you get it. So pre-production, I think, has already been included in my pricing.
I was going to ask you charge for pre-production, if you factor it into your charges.
Yeah, so it has already been factored into our charge. So we kind of like dictate what we'll do for you. So if you want more options, there's an add-on. So for example, if you go in for maybe one outfit with one setup, let's say the price is 500. If you want another outfit in there, there's an add-on price of, let's say, 200. So making it 700. So we help you build your price up to.
Okay.
So we try to make things okay for the clients before coming to us, instead of having the conversation up and down and all that. Currently, numbers is a problem. I don't say it's a price, a blessing, it's a good problem.
So you're saying you're overflowing with
yes, yes. Even though we keep trying to get that personal touch with every client, the numbers are still there. So we try to put everything into our packages, frequently ask questions, what you should do before coming to the studio. We forward all those things to you when we book you, so that you can read through before you come in. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's we got it from him. Okay, Shafiq has spoken. Joey, do you have anything to say about the pre-production part? Should do you add it to your, let's say when let's say you're doing a studio shoot, when your clients come, do you have like, you know, a bottle of Coke for your clients? Do you add that to your charge? Like, I know that Nigerians, when you go to Circle, that you want to buy from a Nigerian, even earpiece, they will give you plastic chairs, sit you down Go get. They'll ask you, what do you want to drink? Whatever you want to drink, they will get it for you. But at the end of the day, whatever they are bringing to you to buy, Charlie, you're going to pay for that. But then, because of the way they treat you, anytime you go there, Charlie, our own people at Circle will just stand by the roadside with you, even dupe you on top. But the Nigerians will pull you to their shop, give you chair, make sure you're comfortable, give you a drink before going to look for whatever you want. Joey, how do you what do you have to say about that?
Pre-production, I do it quite a lot, and everything being so good. Normally, the studio I'm prone to, or the studios normally available to me, have all these services in there, right? Luckily, I don't want to do free promotion, but studio pixel rates when you go there, I think from getting the clients comfortable to talking to the clients to having things said before the shoot. Normally, I don't like picking up the camera directly. You come in, you sit down, I provide, oh, there's AC, there's water. Do you want a piece of is it pizza? And since it's a home, like normally there's food also available. I even give you coke. Yeah, there's a swimming pool if you want it to. We'll just go to the swimming pool for you. But all I'm trying to say is sometimes I like to do pre-production before you even get to the studio. Then we'll still continue the pre-production. Then before I even pick the camera, I'll make sure I go over whatever it is we have to do before we start the shoot. So if you hit me up as a client, you want a job from me, you want a job done for me, in as much as you already have your ideas that you're coming with, I make sure to also chip in I suggest. I don't actually impose it on you. I suggest on, like, you let me know this is what you're coming to do. I will also look around it and send you a couple of interesting ideas and let you know, oh, this and this is also what I think I can do about it. Some clients are adamant, they don't want to change. With such clients, I'm a bit skeptical because when you're done with them, they will come back giving you more problems. So I normally do what they want. With some other clients too, they are open to suggestions, and sometimes they maybe end up doing what you think is good for them, right? So pre-production is very, very necessary, and I don't think I charge extra for that. But when I go to the studio, in as much as we want you to feel comfortable, but the long run, I know you spend more than the studio hours and you end up paying for the extra studio charges. So
exactly.
That is where the extra charge comes in. But I don't plan on charging you directly in my pricing. It ends up you staying more, spending more time in the studio and realizing that you spent more time. Then the studio owner will come and be like, okay, there's some extra hours you have to pay. That was for the pre-production, but you don't know. So yes, that's what you know about.
So in my situation, sometimes I do this most of the times. Let's say you choose a package. Let's say 6 pictures. What I do is I make sure I should give you like 20 awesome pictures. So even though you paid for a package which says 6 pictures, you end up choosing more pictures. And the thing is, I don't let you go, then I send you maybe the JPEG versions for you to choose. No, with that, they have the upper hand. They get to keep because that's what they normally say. Oh, send me the unedited ones. I'm like, I shoot raw. I can't send to you. Even that, I have to, edit it before I can send to you. So for each extra picture, let's say 20 cedis. If you're choosing more than 5, I'll give it to you 10 cedis. So even though they pay you for the packet, the reason why they came, you end up getting some extra 100 or even sometimes 200 cedis for pizza. Papa's Pizza is just close by, so just use that for
pizza.
Yeah, that's something you can add to. Just give them the experience. Even though, just don't go that, oh, the client chose 6 pictures, so let me just shoot 6 pictures and give to them. Some of us are in a hurry. Oh, this client, you are not paying much, and you choose the lowest package. But they can choose the lowest package because at that time that's what they can afford. But see, they have Momo and all that. They will come there, give them awesome service, and by the time they leave your studio, they might even order prints, frames, and all that. You get it? So give them value. Don't just give them service. So give them value. Some can come one time. They just want you to take pictures. They will never see you again. Is that the kind of client you want? Or you want clients who always come back? When they give birth, they will call you. When Adjoa is 1 year, they will call you. When she's 2 years, they will come to you. When their friend gives birth, they say, no, don't take anybody. This guy is the guy. I have clients like that. That's the kind of relationship we should build. Give, add-on service. Don't just say, oh, I'm a photographer. Come to my studio, I take pictures, you go. No. See, Nanaresh, you've been shaking your head like Charlie. You look like.
I have a question for Joey.
Okay, so go on.
Yeah, he mentioned. He said when the clients come in and their time is over, somebody comes in to say, "Oh, your time is over. So will you pay for the extra charges or something?" Am I right?
He said the studio owner.
The studio owner will come in to say that.
That's not what I said. I mean, I let you know I have the studio for an hour or two. With me, most of my charges are based on hourly rate. So it's an hour shoot, right? I have to make you feel comfortable and all that. By the time you are done with the shoot, obviously, I would have shot more than the hour that we both agreed on. And we would have spent more time in the studio than the agreed upon studio time I was given. I will not let the studio guy come and tell you have to pay. Like, I'm actually letting you know that, okay, so this is the stipulated time we had, and right now this is what you have to like top up. So if that, sometimes some clients actually want to play around with you, like, oh, I thought you were my friend, and I'll just take a little step back and I just call the studio guy and I'm like, okay, so this is the owner of the studio, this is what he told me, and I'm relaying it to you because like I am the direct contact, like I'm in direct contact with you. But if we are coming to do those kind of long con distance, I'll just have to take a step back and introduce the studio guy so that he can take his share of the extended hours that we spent over there. Because when the client leaves, I actually have to pay for that extended hours.
So that says you are referring to him as your land guard.
No, he's not my land guard. He's not my land guard.
Okay, so let me ask, what if the client says you did not work within your time frame you agreed on?
I was going to ask that same question.
I did not work within the time frame we agreed on.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So for example, I came in for 1 hour. I came in for a 1 hour session, 2 outfits, and you decided to use 2 minutes. 2 hours.
Yes.
To photograph the whole session.
All right. So I think this will have to, the experience will have to come in here. I don't think I will waste a whole 2 hours on just 2 outfits.
No, not necessarily that. Let's say you use 1 hour for your pre-production just to get them comfortable.
That is why I said I make sure I have a pre-production something before you even come in. And by coming in, if you want to go straight to shooting, we can agree on that. We'll just go straight to shooting. But getting you comfortable, obviously you would have come in from outside. If it is hot, Ghana is very hot, so you have to relax. I have to blow you with AC and some a little bit of fun. I am so sure you wouldn't want to shoot right away whilst you're sweating or something. You get it? You obviously want to relax. And during that relaxation time, you know you are in the studio now. I am ready for you. It's not that I'm not ready for you. I am ready for you. But you have to feel relaxed. You have to feel comfortable. You have to go over things we already went over so that it doesn't look like we don't know what we are doing. You get it? So that is also part of the studio session. In as much as I'm here to shoot you, I'm not just there to shoot you. I'm there to also talk to you so that we get what we all want. I hope I answered your question, Kingsley.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Arash, you look like Zap Mallet over here.
If I may ask, how is his camera black and white?
I shock. Every time Arash has a different,
I don't know.
I've been wondering.
I've asked him before. He said he did some setting. He didn't want to go back. But every time he told me, I want to do that, but I can't. Okay, Nanaresh, they have spoken about pricing.
I will check it.
Tell us, what do you have to? You are giving us the closing prayer.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, I've learned a lot.
Hey, Hey, Catalyst, see what you've done.
Bruh, why?
Catalyst, I blame you.
Photography Bible. Photography Bible.
You made the professor take notes. Wow.
I tell you, my friend. So that is one of my weakest points, all right, and I'm glad it went on, and I've learned so much from all they said. And there's something if I were to pay, I wouldn't be able to pay for that. I mean, and kudos for all this, and thanks to everybody who has availed their time and credit and all those things to do that. And some things I would also add would be usually with for me what I've seen with I really suck at pricing and all those things. But one thing I think I've learned quite well would be with I hope you hear me well.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So one thing I that I have also learned and I sometimes use this with the client relationship and all. I know this not with the pricing, but as we have all been saying, um, so far as usually I'm photographing someone, I first of all want to make sure I get the image that the person will really love. As Zacharias once said, he wants to get a picture of the person so that when the person is dead, that picture can summarize the life of the person. And I think that becomes something that leads me on, especially with Richard and all that. Yeah. And I'm finally trying to get the pictures and all those things, like plan the shoot out in pre-production and all that. I usually think about what we are going to do, how we are going to create it, and how both of us can collaborate to get it well. And I think sometimes I go too much into that so that it then affect price. Like I become over sympathetic, and I end up, I mean, like getting so much involved in what is yet to come, and I cut myself from there. So all you have said is well worth it. What Catalyst also said with regards to how you need to make sure the person is into you so that they can work with you for a longer time and really appreciate what you are doing is part of it. And I've had people who sometimes would like, for instance, if I'm coming to photograph you, and sometimes I do a bit more of hair shots, and if it's a corporate headshot or something, and I know this person is coming, I go and research the background of the person through LinkedIn and all that. Uh, had people I know, like sometimes you interrogate with them and get to know possibly the kind of music they really love listening to. And when I start, I meet them. That's what I usually like take up playing or anything around things of interest to them.
Okay,
All
so
right.
Nanaresh, I'm not cutting you, but this
Yeah.
topic you're brushing is
It's
for
for
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yes, for tomorrow. Yeah.
Client relationship.
Yeah.
Catalyst triggered it, so we are
Yeah.
going to treat. So please don't
Yeah.
go into details with that now.
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
deal with
Yeah.
that tomorrow.
Yeah.
So for now, we are touching on pricing,
Yeah.
what you should look out for, how to arrive at your price.
Yeah. I think with that, everything has been said, and it's well worth it to end on a good note from all that they have said. Yeah.
Okay, so Naresh, tomorrow we'll be talking about client relationship. So everybody here, that's the topic for tomorrow. Your client, I don't know if that's the proper title, client relationship. Maybe there should be a better title for it. What do you guys think? No, it has to do with how you relate with your clients, how to build that relationship where your client would want to suggest you to all their friends, even though the client knows that I can't afford you, but I have friends who can afford you. They'll make sure they do the marketing for you. You get so I think if anybody has a better title for that, you can drop it so that we use it for tomorrow. But tomorrow, that's what we'll be discussing. So if you're here and you haven't subscribed yet, kindly subscribe and then hit the bell so that when we start, I won't have to go to the various WhatsApp groups and be sending links. Once you hit the bell, you'll be notified anytime we go live. And then Catalyst channel is there. It's the same as Kobe Catalyst, so you can go there. Not you can right after when we end this, go there and then subscribe and then wait for him. He will start posting. I've given him pressure to start posting. He doesn't want to. So if you start subscribing, that will be a catalyst for him to start posting. So please do that. Muse, do you have a channel? You have a channel?
Yes, I do. Let me grab the link and then I'll
Yes, so just grab it. Kingsley, you don't have a channel, do you? You don't have. Shame on you. Joey, please drop the link to your channel in the.
I don't have a channel yet. We are still.
You don't have a channel yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
May it be so.
He has no time for anyone.
Okay, so okay, guys. Okay, so mute your mic. Let's sign out. Then we can go through it. So, guys, this brings us to the official end of this particular discussion. It's been a great discussion. It hasn't ended. We will find another time and go deeper into it. You know, giving you. I remember one time the wedding photographers group on WhatsApp. You know, we came out with some Excel, you know, putting in various things, then it will give you the final thing and all that. So we'll bring all that so that it will be something more practical. You know, it's rather unfortunate we don't have Catalyst here physically, because all these things were plans of the shop to have all that there. But thank God for this platform. We will have him here it's even better now, you know. So thank you very much for joining us. Client relations is good. Oh, my big boss is here. Good Kelly. So you've been here all this while silently. Good Kelly, that is not good. I can charge you. I can make you slaughter. It's not good. I can make you slaughter a white goat. Good Kelly, you've been here all this while. You've been quiet. No, I want a white goat with a green beard.
White goat is too much. Make it a pink camel.
Pink camel. Oh wow, Shafiq, do you agree? Good Kelly, please. You have been charged. We as the local people will say, yeah, somehow a pink camel with a green beard. That's what we want from you. You've been here all this while. You've been silent. Good Kelly. No, that is not good. Okay, we've ended this part. Good Kelly. Tomorrow we will have you on for somebody mentioned. He said, okay, he now said clients relations. Okay, so tomorrow is going to be clients relations. I'm noting it down. That's what we'll be discussing tomorrow. And you know, all the guys will be here. You know, the thing is, sometimes I like it to go just like today. We planned specific people, but at the end we had, you know, more people coming here and making it much more interesting. That's how I love it. You know, a little bit of unplanned stuff makes it more juicy. You know, but then it's always good to plan. Always plan your thing. Don't just go on a shoot unplanned. You will fail. So yes, it's been a good session. Thank you very much for being here. Please subscribe to Joey's channel. Catalyst is here. Nanaresh also has an insect channel. He is not using it. You know, give these guys pressure so that they start creating content. Kingsley, I've told you, baby photography, not many people are doing it. Give us behind the scenes. Let people, ginger people to want to. Anyway, you said you are oversubscribed, so you don't want more.
Please, I'm not oversubscribed. I beg you. I still need the money. I beg you.
Muse, didn't you hear it? He said he's oversubscribed, so now he chooses who to shoot, right?
Yes.
Because he's getting 100K a month.
No, if you have 10 people coming in a day, you can't shoot the whole thing. You can have a limited number.
Call for extra. You can.
I can help you. Studio. I can help you. My studio is very big,
and I'm even closer to him, so you can bring some here. You see, so yeah, so you guys can drop your links so that from here we can just go subscribe to your channels. But Charlie, it's a big space. Let's all Joey.
So if you're here and you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly go subscribe. I have a new video on the channel where I show you guys how two different model guys can give you very good lights on beauty images. Those interested in beauty pictures and portrait pictures. Yeah, kindly go check it out. Like, subscribe, share, let people watch it, and we'll take it far from there. All right, I'll see you guys. Peace.
All right, so guys, if you're here and this has been helpful to you, don't forget to share the news. Let other people know that this is what we do every day at 8 p.m. GMT. We usually spend 2 hours, but when it gets so interesting like this, we don't even watch time anymore. We just go on till we are tired. If it wasn't Catalyst who told me he had to run away, like I wasn't even watching that. Then I realized we were past 2 hours. So yes, this is what we do every evening. Okay, so Seboni, do you have anything to say for your underground people? His network keeps rotating and all that. So Seboni, are you here with us?
Yeah, I watch my bosses.
Okay, so have we satisfied your group of people?
Oh yeah, sure. I was
Okay.
very educative and insightful.
Okay, all right. And we have summoned Good Kelly. For those of you who don't know Good Kelly, okay, Good Kelly, please correct me if I'm wrong. You said you're the unofficial YouTube ambassador to Ghana, right? He's one of the YouTube big bosses. He's been here quietly. I've summoned him with Nana Rice says what? A pink camel with a green beard. So that's what we've charged him with. So we'll be expecting that tomorrow he will provide us with a pink camel with green beard. So aside that, yes, tell us, have we touched on everything you guys want to know? Ceremony. Okay, Shafiq, send me your link in the private chat, and so I'll copy it, and then I think YouTube restricts who can send links in the chat. So send it in the private chat, then I'll copy it and paste. Okay, I've seen. Shafiq, you see, you sent it in the private chat. That's why it's not visible here. Okay, so I'll just copy. Ceremony, are you there?
I'm here, boss.
Yeah, so I was asking, have we satisfied you guys? Are you okay?
Oh yeah. I think everyone is okay. We've learned a lot. Yeah, we'll be coming for one-on-one tutorials.
No problem. So just subscribe to Catalyst channel.
Nana Resh Dems and my boss Kingsley Dems, Charlie.
Yeah. They will all be available to give them pressure so that they will all create YouTube channels and be feeding you with content. Okay, all right. So guys, thank you very much for being part of this. At this moment, Yapon, so we can all go home unless somebody has something to say. If nobody has anything to say, then tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m., we'll be back here. Thank you very much for being part of this.
Mates.
Yeah. Adios.
We are sucking, guys. Peace out.